Alright, we're good to go here. Okay, Bazette, hi. Yeah, we're good to go here. Continue, I'm not gonna do from the beginning. Okay, so last stream there was the raid that was done on the hotel that Yuji and Makina were hiding out in, and they escaped the raid. Oh, Volcanics, long time no see. So last stream there was the raid, they escaped that, but unfortunately left this apple seedling behind. Sure, it's just an apple tree that you could just spend like 1500 yen to get from pretty much any garden store. It's more than just an apple seedling to Makina. It's a symbol of hope to her, and I think also to Yuji to some extent as well. So yeah, the two are still on the run. Since my tongue's been getting used to Amane's mouth cooking lately, I chose the boxed lunches in the hope they might faintly suggest a similar home cooking feel. But apparently Makina didn't care for hers, as she left most of it uneaten. If anything, I might just have exacerbated her yearning for Amane. Ever since discovering her apple tree was missing, the girl's been in a bit of a sulk. Maybe depressed is a better way to put it. Her absurd cheerfulness has vanished, and now she's grown unusually quiet. It's not the first time I've seen Makina like this, but it's still a little hard. There's a selfish part of me that wants her to be smiling constantly. We've got logistical problems as well. Our current cash reserves have dropped below 50,000 yen. Unless we get our hands on some money soon, we won't be able to sustain this fugitive lifestyle. So yeah, didn't Makina totally just write Yuji a check for 72 million yen, or something like that? That would definitely at least come out to well over 600,000 US dollars. And now they're below 50,000. So, I don't know, maybe just a bit above $500 to $600 they have left. Maybe even less than that. Maybe something like 300 to 400 left. Yeah, like I said earlier, I've heard stories of lottery winners who win like multiple millions of dollars, they become multimillionaires, and then they eventually end up broke again within a decade. Because they just spend all of it. In the first place, we can't just run around in circles forever. Well, no shit. You're almost out of yen. We absolutely need an endgame. All this means is I have to move the schedule up a little. Once again, night comes. As I watch the darkness in the sky grow deeper, it feels as though the black clouds on my mind are thickening as well. A deep black sky. When night completely covers the world, my head begins to throb with the familiar, painful fear. The devil wakes up. My hand starts to kill people on its own. You asleep, Makina? Maybe. Okay, I'm going to take care of business. Wait here and behave yourself, alright? Hope she waits there and doesn't go back to... Yeah, I think that apple seedling was probably returned to the exact hotel building that was surrounded by the raid that Yuji and Makina had to just run for their lives from. I really wouldn't consider it to be safe at all just to go back there. Considering I'm even shocked they managed to get away in the first place. Papa? Papa? Urgent from COS 19. They've discovered an individual tentatively identified as number 9029 and are currently tailing him. Referring to the main character, by the way, 9029. What, again? What is this? The fourth time now? Don't tell me it's yet another case of mistaken identity. Entirely possible. Shall I have him discontinue the pursuit then? I didn't say that. Where did Haradura-kun go anyway? It seems she had an engagement. Shall I call her back? An engagement at a time like this? Honestly, I can't understand what that woman's thinking. Farrell-kun. Might I have a cup of coffee? No. Huh? What? I'm not a waitress. Excuse me, but you're always making coffee for Harudera-kun. That's a purely voluntary gesture taken on my own initiative. My job description doesn't include feeding grapes to arrogant male superiors. I swear. Backtalk from every corner. Do you all hate me that much? Would you really care for an honest answer to that question? I think I'll pass. Just forget about it. Please don't sulk like a child, sir. I'll make you some coffee later if I have the time, alright? And when's later going to be? Sir, didn't anyone ever teach you not to demand a specific time when someone's being deliberately vague? When you're told stand by for the moment, that means to shut your mouth and wait till you're told otherwise. Look, who do you think I am exactly? Director Otsuka. And should you really be taking this sort of an attitude with the director of your department? Well, why do you think I'm phrasing my sentences so politely? You're annoying at the best of times, sir, so please don't make things worse by talking nonsense. Oh, did you just call me annoying? Huh? Wait. I'm rather busy, sir, so please go find someone else to play with, or rather, how about just going home if you have nothing to do? Even you're giving me this now? My god, it's like I'm talking to a miniature Harudera-kun. Well, I imagine so. She's a colleague I respect deeply, after all. Oh. What is it? Target lost. We've lost sight of the individual thought to be 9029. Lost sight of him? What's that supposed to mean? It means our agent is no longer able to determine his whereabouts. It means we lost his whereabouts. I wasn't asking what the words meant. This agent isn't a damn amateur. I want to know why they lost sight of him. They were tailing number 9029, who isn't exactly an amateur himself. Perhaps that has something to do with it? Get back up to the scene immediately. That's easy for you to say, sir, but the only people we have in the field right now are 3-digit numbers. Half civilian intelligence operatives. There's no way they're going to be able to deal with a 4-digit special agent like 9029 now, is there? Why don't we have any 4-digit numbers in the field? Have you really forgotten, sir? Just the other day we sent several of them charging recklessly into a building to get roasted. Our friends at HQ are rather upset. The quote, "We're not kamikazes, damn it." That's not my responsibility. There's not much point in saying that to me, you know. What is it now? Signal lost. I'm afraid he's likely been taken out. God damn it. Why are we using these useless country bumpkins in the first place? Oh? You call this civilian a bumpkin? Bad boy. Could you please try to take your job seriously? Bad boy. I'll tell teacher. That's no good at all. Didn't your instructors teach you to abandon the tailing op the instant you lose sight of your target? And to postpone reporting in until you reach a safe place? To COS 019, it seemed to have all happened in the blink of an eye. Just moments before, he'd been following closely as number 9029 walked away from the station, moving against the flow of drunkards jogging to catch the last train. When 9029 melted into a group of young people who had already given up on getting home for the night, COS 19 had clicked his tongue softly in frustration. He did have a vague sense 9029 had noticed his pursuit, but he couldn't let the man just slip away like this. Raising a sleeve to his mouth, COS 019 began to speak into a hidden microphone, hoping to arrange for another 3-digit agent to relieve him. And in that moment of distraction, he lost sight of 9029 entirely. Damn, was he waiting for that? Hurriedly whispering the situation into his cuff mic, he moved his gaze back and forth across the street, but the man in the black suit was nowhere to be found. It was as if 9029 had simply melted away into the darkness in the split second COS 019 had taken his eyes off him. Panic surging through his mind, COS 019 took a first rapid step toward the spot where he had last seen his target. In that instant, there was a soft, purposeful whisper of air from behind, and his spine turned to ice. COS 019 had time only for a sharp inhalation of breath before a brutal kick smashed into his knee from the side. As the joint gave way with a sickening crunch, paralyzing pain shot through his body, and he began to fall. But before he could hit the ground, a knee shot up and struck his chin. Brilliant stars filled his field of vision. By the time he thought "this is bad" flashed through his mind, he could no longer even stand. He reached out blindly for the wall, only to have his arm grabbed and yanked upward, immobilizing his shoulder and elbow joints. Completely unable to defend himself, he was smashed face first against the hard concrete wall again and again. By the third blow, he was unconscious. The next thing COS 019 knew, he was being dragged roughly down a back alley by his armpits, his legs scraping painfully against the asphalt. The belt-type harness around his waist with a small GPS locator had been removed. His cell phone had been taken away and turned off, and the radio antenna hidden on the back of his collar had been ripped out. His limbs were bound with heavy-duty nylon cords designed for electrical work, and his own necktie had been balled up and stuffed into his mouth as a gag. He felt a vague sense of admiration at the thorough professionalism of his assailant. Only half conscious, the world swimming darkly before his eyes, as though he were drowning in a sea of oil, COS-19 heard 9029's voice. Armani, huh? You foreign capital types do get the nice suits. You walk around with your ID? Not like it gets you free train rides or discounts at the movies. You're a little too earnest, buddy. A white background with a green border on the photo. Central Security Bureau, huh? You're pretty damn photogenic for someone in this line of work, aren't you? I'm envious. I just don't get along with cameras, you know. Always comes out looking like the mugshot on a wanted poster. Don't suppose you have any tips? Nah, don't worry about it. I was just messing around. Pipe down now, alright? So what, you're working alone? Should be a pair for this kind of job. Where's your buddy? You guys short-handed? Well, you know. I don't really want to badmouth my own company, but it's the kind of organization that takes 5 days to deliver water to the site of an earthquake. We've got ourselves one aggravating employer, you and me both. Pattering away in a soft voice devoid of emotion, 9029 shifted his attention to 019's ankles. Oh, a Glock, huh? Nice gun. Did your mom buy it for you? Hey, we've even got a spare magazine. Mind if I borrow this for a while? Don't worry, I'll give it back in good shape. Incidentally, I'm going to be using you as live bait, okay? My apologies for the inconvenience. With a few light slaps to 019's cheeks, 9029 pulled back on the gun's slide, ejected the red dummy plug from the cartridge chamber, and slid in the round of live ammunition. COS-019 just went live. What? We're receiving a signal from his GPS locator. I have his current location. He's currently stationary. Transmitting from the same point where he lost the signal earlier. What is this? Why now? Who knows? Maybe he simply regained consciousness? Then why isn't he getting in contact with us? His cell phone and radio may have been damaged. Well, that's only my speculation, of course. Where's the backup? 707 and 106 are currently rushing to the scene. Only 2? What about the other field personnel? Those 2 are the only agents anywhere near the scene. And we've only got 18 people spread across the entire metropolitan area, you know. Moving anyone else over would open gaping holes in the net. But only 2 3-digits against a 4-digit agent. That's a bad bet any way you look at it. Since it's come to this, why not ask the police to send over a SIT or SAT squad? Don't be ridiculous. You expect me to beg Sakura Damon to put out a fire that started inside our house? God, I'd rather choke. Just the other day, their safety chief sidled up to our internal affairs director and said, apparently the reserve can't even keep their pet dog's leash these days, with a sarcastic little grin on his face. Respectfully, sir, what's that got to do with anything? I mean, why do we have so many enemies in the first place? Making external enemies is one thing, but what kind of operation has its left hand and right hand complete loggerheads? Seriously. That's the nature of an organization rich in tradition and character, Farrell-kun. 707 and 106 have both arrived on the scene, currently surveying the area. They spotted 019. He seems to be tied up! What happened? Gunfire audible from the transmission. Multiple shots fired. What? Report. Both agents injured. They've sustained disabling gunshot wounds to their legs. God damn it. What a fiasco. Supplementary report. The weapon used was 019's 9mm automatic handgun. It seems torn newspaper was stuffed into the muzzle as a silencer. What about 9029? Is he still there? No. Seems he fled the scene immediately. The gun was left behind in partially disassembled condition with the slide assembly and magazine removed. Awfully thoughtful of him. Most likely to avoid raising his threat level through possession of a firearm. Crafty little dog. Certainly did a number on us. He turned 019 into live bait to lure out the others. It's a classic sniper tactic. And what's more, after bringing down 3, he tore up and discarded the gun, then promptly left the scene. That lack of greed is another hallmark of a professional sniper. One way or another, the man's an utter nuisance. Get an incident processing team to the site. Were there any deaths? No. They're all wounded, but there were no fatalities. Shall I send a relief squad to the scene? Yes, you do that. I'll go to the central control room and get yelled at again. Take care of the rest. Okay, so Yuji just gotten down, temporarily immobilized like 3 people. Tied up 1, used them as live bait to just lure the other 2 and just shoot them too. Well, not kill them, just to immobilize them. No deaths. Does that mean the safety pin's still in place? 1:36 a.m. By the time I finally make it to the hotel, having changed subway trains 3 times on the way back, it's past 1:30 in the morning. And I'm in bad shape. My throat's painfully dry, probably from the lingering fever. I try to walk straight, but the walls seem to pitch and swerve around me. It feels like my feet are sinking uncertainly into fluffy cushions. I'm going to collapse soon. A frozen black lump deep inside my chest, warmed by the heat of my fever, fills my lungs with putrid gas faster than I can spit it out. It's fine. Happens all the time. I've experienced this many times before. I'll get through it. Even so, it's been a while since I felt this terrible. I've been stable lately. More stable than I thought possible. Probably thanks to Mihama. The accumulation of the small blessings I found there. The days that flow by naturally. That hermetically sealed world where violence had no place. I've always hated violence. I'm a weakling by nature. I was made to suffer violence, not to inflict it on others. When did I change? When did I become what I am? Just thinking about it makes me feel even worse, but things are different now. There's one sliver of light in the darkness. I'm protecting something that's precious to me. That knowledge supports me. I can almost hear someone telling me you're doing the right thing. That's right. I don't have to content myself with protecting some abstract concept on someone else's orders. I have something real to protect now. Makina. For her sake, I have to keep going. When I get back to the room, I'll drink a glass of water. And I'll go to the bed where she's sleeping, collapse next to her, and sleep until morning. I'm on track to being that castle in World 7. Oh my. Nice. Opening our door with my keycard, I slip quietly into the room. I beeline for the small fridge to the side of the entrance and retrieve a plastic bottle of mineral water. The pitch-dark room is faintly illuminated in the orange glow of the small light inside the refrigerator. Makina? With one glance at the bed, I realize Makina isn't tucked under the covers where I left her, and my heart constricts painfully in my chest. Hey, Makina. You're just messing around, right? Where are you? Looking around the interior of our room in a panic, I don't see much in the way of hiding places. I throw open the door of the bathroom, but Makina's not in the toilet or in the shower. I even open the small closet in my desperation, but of course she's in there. Pulling myself together slightly with an effort of will, I return to the entrance and finally notice that her boots are missing. She went out? But where on earth would she be going at this hour? Don't tell me she went back for the seedling. The seedling, right? She went back for the seedling? Even though it's likely gonna get you killed trying to do so? Even though I imagine that's gonna get her killed, possibly. Every once in a while, turn back when you're turning a street corner and get a good look at the road behind you. You'll get lost less often on the way back. Papa, my classmate, taught me that. Even if you're paying attention to the scenery on the way over, things will look different when you're heading back in the opposite direction, so sometimes you'll take the wrong turn. From a very young age, I've been doing most of my walking behind others. My sense of direction's never been that good. So on the way over here from the train station, I've turned around numerous times. Nobody's following me. I'm walking toward a familiar bathhouse chimney that pokes up above the buildings on either side. Heading for that chimney as a landmark, I'll eventually arrive at the inn where I forgot the apple seedling yesterday. Papa said he'd figure something out, but I learned from my job at the bakery that adults should own up to their mistakes and try their best to set things right. Wonder where Papa ran off to anyway. I mean, she's the one who ran off somewhere. Oh, wait. Lately, I've noticed Papa slipping out of the room in the middle of the night and going off somewhere. I don't know, just to hold off more agents that are trying to either capture or kill Yuji. Well, I know they're prioritizing keeping Makina alive, but they want to capture her too. Wait, are they prioritizing keeping her alive? Because I know there's a hit with her name on it. I know he must be keeping some big secret from me. and I kinda understand that it's related to sensitive, painful stuff he doesn't want to talk about. It's a little hard to put in words. Maybe like original sin? I get the feeling that it's a taboo topic, something he wants to keep hidden away forever, and I can't get myself to try and force it out of him either. I mean, I understand where he's coming from. It's just like how I didn't want to drag other people into the thing with my family. Papa must have some old wounds of his own, and I think they're still pretty raw, still bleeding. Someday I want Papa to trust me enough to tell the whole story. I want to accept everything about him, even his past, just like he did for me. No matter how much I want to help him, I don't really have any specific plans. Right now, comforting him with my body is the best I can do. It's frustrating. I thought staying a child would mean someone would always protect me. Even though I made a choice not to grow up, right now I want nothing more than to become a wise, mature woman who can heal any wound. I guess Amani just wasn't talking nonsense when she said women change when they find themselves a man. Papa's probably going to be mad if he finds out I slipped out of her room without asking him first. I don't want him to be angry at me, of course, but it'd be even more painful to push yet another burden onto his back. When I realized I'd forgotten the apple tree, Papa was kind and supportive, and told me we'd definitely get it back someday, but that kindness was more painful than anything else. If I just let Papa keep spoiling me like this, I'll definitely become useless, unable to do a thing but sit and watch, just like last time. I'm going to fix my own mistakes. I'd figured breaking into the building would be the trickiest part of this operation, but as it turns out, I got inside so easily, it was almost unsatisfying. They just stuck some thick yellow tape over the gaping holes where the front windows used to be, and the old lady and our customers obviously aren't around anymore. There weren't any lookouts watching the entrance either. I straight to the kitchen with my LED pen light in hand, but the potted apple seedling isn't on the counter where I left it. I wonder if those Ichigaya people took it like Papa said. But if it's not here, at least I know it has to be somewhere else, so it's not a wasted trip, right? Now I got a bunch of new questions to worry about, like who took it and where. But at least I confirmed there's nothing I can do right now. Guess I'm just putting off the issue, but at least that powerless feeling of watching TV without a remote control's gone. Nothing else I can do. Better hurry back to the hotel before Papa comes home. Hey, what are you doing there? Crap, they found me. Estimated age. Late 30s, height about 170 centimeters, his hair smoothed down to the back, dark sunglasses, a pedo mustache. Wearing a cheap nondescript suit, missing a button in the front and a blue paisley necktie. A pair of worn-out old loafers on his feet. Unusual way of standing with his left shoulder a little lower than his right. If what Papa told me was on the level, then this guy must be a pedophile. Oh, CIA? Hey, what's going on? Looks like a little girl just wandered in here. Not good, now there's two of them. My sexy ninja techniques probably aren't going to get me out of this one. At terms like this, or... let's see. Hey kiddo, what are you doing in a place like this? Are you by yourself? Well... what do I do? What can I do? Hold on. Is that kid the Mark? Izu Makina? What? Oh. Hey kiddo. There's nothing to be afraid of. Could you tell us your name for now? Quick, quick, come up with a fake name! Well... can't waste any more time hesitating. Quick, come up with a fake name! What? As I scream the words, the tension of the frozen my muscles in place loosens, and I feel hot blood pulsing through my veins. After refilling my lungs with a great gulp of air, I lightly toss the pen light in my hand at the face of the man standing in front of me. What? You! Hey! His eyes open wide for a moment, instinctively following the projectile's trajectory toward him. I use that one distracted moment to close the distance between us. Just as he's reaching out his hands to catch the small flashlight, I line up a headbutt aimed at his lower abdomen. In one smooth movement, I smack directly into his solar plexus at full force. The body blow takes the man completely by surprise, and he drops to his knees. I instantly grab hold of his head and swing my knee up savagely to meet his nose. hits the ground with a heavy thud. Without a moment's delay, I launch a hard kick to the throat as the finishing blow. What the shit? It takes a moment for the other man to realize his partner's down in the darkness, but he's soon reaching inside his suit toward the left armpit. Please help me! What? Switching right back to victim mode, I scream tearfully for help, causing the second man to hesitate slightly as his hand grasps the stock of his gun. I promptly duck and tumble across the floor. I'm behind him before he can blink. Curling myself with the man's back, I twine my legs around his torso, slip my right arm in front of his neck, and hook my wrist into the crook of my left elbow. My left hand finds the back of his head and pushes it firmly forward. Oh, you're telling me. Exactly what I'm thinking. She could be an agent herself, perhaps. Sleeper hold. And push up the head. Well, she was trained by Yuji, so I suppose that would definitely help her case. I'm not strangling him with my arm. I'm holding the arm steady and using the principle of leverage to crush his neck against it. There's a nasty rattling sound coming from the man's neck. The more he struggles, the more tightly his neck is constricted. The pressure to his carotid artery quickly brings him to the edge of unconsciousness. The man slaps weakly on my arm as if to signal surrender, but this would all be wasted effort if I let him go now. Papa taught me to slowly count out 7 full seconds after your opponent goes limp before you let go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Guess we're good now? I loosen my strangling grip on the man's neck, and in that moment I hear a sharp sound. 2 impacts from behind, like powerful kicks on my lower back. I stumble away from the man I've been grappling with, now collapse on the ground, and turn to find my first opponent sitting up, bleeding heavily from his broken nose, massaging his throat with his left hand, a smoking pistol clutched in his right. No way! Did I get shot? I suppose so. It's too dark to see, but there's a cold, empty feeling around my waist, like someone's forced a huge chunk of ice into my body. When I reach down to touch it, my hand finds a patch of slick dampness. I hold my fingers up to my face for a better look. They're covered in sticky, viscous red blood. A dark stain begins to spread out across my clothes from a spot near my hips. I can feel the blood gathering thickly between my skin and the fabric, forming a lukewarm little pond. Oh my fucking god, they just shot R. Kelly. Okay, this is bad. My legs give way from sheer terror and I fall to the ground. Please tell me she's gonna be okay. No way. This can't be happening. Oh crap, I screwed up big time. Never thought I'd get shot this easily. Papa's gonna be so mad at me. Don't push your luck, kid. I get it. I didn't finish him off properly. That's why it turned out like this. Guess you tend to be a little soft about that sort of thing until you get some real experience under your belt, huh? Good to know. Goddamn brat. Someone needs to teach you a lesson. It really hurts. You just shot her. Leave her alone. Please. I'm gonna die like this? In the end, I just couldn't do a thing. Couldn't solve any of my problems. Just ran around in circles for a while, and got killed like an idiot. Why was I even born in the first place? What a downer. I don't want to die. Papa, help me. It's alright. Human beings are made of sturdy stuff. You won't die that easily. 9029? God damn it, my head's killing me. This isn't good enough. Not nearly good enough. Yup. So Makina got shot while I had to go AFK. Yeah, that's what happened. Cold murderous hatred swirls through my mind like a vortex of black mud. Hey, this hurts, doesn't it? Getting smacked around hurts, right? Wonder what kind of expression I'm making right now. I think I'm probably smiling. But you know, it's hard to really understand that pain until you're the one getting smacked. You couldn't understand the pain others felt, old man. That's why you could smack Mom around without a second thought. Does hitting people really feel that good? Well, I do understand. I'm your child after all. See, I'm smiling, aren't I? I'm the same as you, irredeemable scum. Hurting people to make myself feel better. In the end, I'm still your son, old man. This right here is a sickness, and there's no cure. You and me will hurt people until the day we die. It's the nature of our disease. Here's how it's going to work. I'll stop you. As many times as it takes. It's fine. Don't worry. Someday I'll find some kind soul to put a stop to me as well. So for now, you just go ahead and wait on the other side, Dad. That's right. I've got to kill. I've got to kill him. Otherwise, someone else I love will die. Huh? Stop! You can't kill him. Ah, right. Sorry, Makina. Got a little carried away there. Does it hurt? Yeah, it hurts. So bad I want to cry. Hold on. I'll stop the bleeding now. That hurts, huh? Well, of course it does, but that's a good thing. Means your body can tolerate the wounds. It's alright. You're not going to die. I got 2 new happy holes now. I hope that's not a euphemism for something. We found the other 2 holes. Looks like 9mm silver tips. Both bullets passed through. The blood's clean so it didn't hit your kidney. I'll get you to a hospital right away. Just tough it out for a little while. Okay, but I don't really like hospitals. They'll probably lock me up in there for years again. Don't worry, I'll get you out once you're better. Here, think you can get on my back? I can't hold on. Carry me, Papa. You really are spoiled rotten, Makina. Not the best thing to say to someone who's just been fucking shot. Come on, Yuji. She just got shot. Just hang in there. I'll get you treatment right away. Hey, respond. If you fall asleep, your heart's gonna start beating. Hey, Makina? This isn't happening. Put the girl down. JB. She's going to die at this rate. Hurry up and put her down. Not happening. I won't give Makina to you. I'm taking her to the hospital. That's not an option. She won't last that long. Put her down now. Yuji! Alright. You stopped the bleeding, right? I'm going to give her epi-anesthetic injections to the arm, leg, and the wounded area. Take off her right boot and sock. Fine. You may feel a little sick to your stomach, Makina, but don't vomit, alright? JB, what are you doing here? I came to return the potted plant. The potted plant? You two were on the run, but you still carried this thing around with you. That means it must have been pretty important to you, yes? That's right. Makina came here to try to get that tree back. What sort of a tree is more important than your life? How childish. You don't have anything that matters more to you than your life, JB? That tree's precious to Makina, and Makina's precious to me. But we failed. Makina and I both. It's alright. So long as you're alive, you can try again as many times as you like. You and Makina both. Makina? I don't believe in God. I prayed to him constantly as a kid, I never got a thing to show for it. But right now, there's nothing else I can do. There's nothing I can do but hold her hand tightly and pray to that rotten bastard. Please, I don't care what happens to him anymore and me anymore. Just save this girl. I'm begging you. I watched the tears stream down Papa's face. I watched him squeeze my hand between his, as if to pray. And I felt my chest grow warm. Ah, so this is family. With that thought, something like contentment filled my heart. Years ago, I was kidnapped. My father was murdered before my eyes, and I spent days locked up with his corpse. After my rescue, I awoke in a hospital bed. My mother and grandmother were in the room with me. I come back alive against all the odds. and when they looked at me, they couldn't hide the disgust in their eyes. Why are you still breathing? Neither of them spoke, but the words written on their faces. Should my kidnapping and safe return become public knowledge, the world would learn that they'd abandoned me and used my sister as a body double. Grandpa had slowly built up our political influence. Grandmother had fought tooth and nail to protect our silent dominance of the financial world. Both would crumble in an instant under the weight of such a scandal. To the Irisu clan, I was an ugly piece of dirt that had to be swept under the rug. Even a child could see those grown-up circumstances reflected in their warped expressions. But even so, no matter what, the woman in front of me was still my mother. To tell her that Papa died protecting me. My arm felt heavy as lead, but I reached out to her. My throat was dry as sandpaper, but I spoke to her. My voice rasped out hoarsely. My arm wavered weakly, thin as that of a corpse, and my mother flinched away. She couldn't stifle her shriek entirely. She looked at me as if though I were a monster. But there were doctors and nurses nearby. She couldn't just ignore my outstretched hand in front of an audience. And so my clean-freak mother covered her hand in the handkerchief and took mine, as though she were touching a piece of garbage. Was this really the hand of the woman who gave birth to me? It was so cold to the touch. In comparison to that, Papa's hand feels so very, very warm. I can't manage much of a grip right now, but I squeeze back as best as I can. Yeah, I'm right here, Makina. She still seems a little out of it, but we can safely move her now. The road should be empty at this hour. My car will be faster than an ambulance. Get the girl inside. I'll call and have them find us an ER who can take her. Thanks. I'll leave the rest to you, JB. You're coming too. You can't mean to abandon her and run off by yourself? Once she's in the doctor's hands, there's nothing more I can do. And your car's only a two-seater anyway, JB. What? Hold on. Yuji! Yuji! That's right. Even if I were to follow, there's no longer anything I can do for her. In that case, guess I'll just have to focus on the things only I can do, JB. Two weeks later. Here's your coffee, Chief. Thanks, Kiara. Is it just me or is your skin getting awfully rough lately? That has to be stress, you know. Yes, I'm aware, but there's not much I can do about it at this moment now, is there? The last 2 weeks have been pretty hectic after all. I'll say. Any new information concerning the whereabouts of Kazami Yushi? Nothing you haven't heard already. As always, he seems to be lying low in the city, moving from place to place. The last conclusive sighting was around 4 in the afternoon 4 days ago in the underground shopping center in Shinjuku Station. We managed to keep the tail on him for 20 minutes before he disappeared into thin air. When the man's alone, it really is like chasing a ghost. That's how he was trained, after all. But even if it is partially, if Sakura demands cooperation now, there are, what, 600 investigators throughout Tokyo keeping an eye out for him? Why can't we catch him? It feels we're taking things very cautiously, so long as we don't pick a fight with him, he won't be retaliating against us. It's like some traumatized Vietnam vet holding up in the mountains or something. Shall we try chasing him into a sheriff's office and talking him down through a bullhorn? The brass doesn't plan on talking. In the end, it's just a high-priced piece of disposable goods. Even if he isn't obsolete yet, broken equipment gets dismantled and tossed in the garbage. Number 9029's initial 2-year field term expired, but he enlisted for a 4-year term as a non-commissioned acting officer after the dissolution of his unit. So, he still owed us another 1.5 years, yes? Or who knows how many thousands of agent candidates in our files. Our executives view anyone as replaceable, so long as they have another piece of paper to shuffle into the vacancy. They're quite convinced that agents have no more value than a single sheet of paper. They don't think twice about crumpling one up and throwing them away. What a waste. After all that effort, we invested in raising them. And they don't say a true veteran is worth a dozen fresh faces? Even the best trained war dog either dies or goes mad in the end. Even if we hadn't taken this one in, he probably would have gone mad years ago. Easier to resign yourself if you look at it that way, right? Are you really alright with this, Chief? Is that logic really good enough for you? Of course not. But the fact of the matter is, I can't do a thing. No matter how much love a soldier offers their country, the country never loves its soldiers. That's a sad way of looking at it. Come to think of it, what's going on with the Irisu Makina situation? For the moment, she's still officially in our custody. The assassination order remains indefinitely suspended. You are aware she was transferred by ambulance 2 days ago from the hospital in Taida Ward to Matsuzawa Psychiatric in Setagaya, yes? Once you go in that place, rumor has it you never come out again. That hasn't been true since before the war. Okay, so we moved her to a different hospital, but is she still sleeping constantly? Yes, more or less. It seems she's been waking up every once in a while, but the girl spends the vast majority of every day asleep or semi-conscious. Seems that her mother's paying her first visit today, so I suppose we'll be heading over there as a representative. I'm curious about how they intend to deal with her as well. It's been 2 weeks since the girl was hospitalized, right? Her mother sure took her time. Well, that's how little Makina means to the Irisu now. I suppose it's certainly far from a pleasant story, any way you look at it. Yes, far from a pleasant story. Hospital. Makina, wake up! It's your mother, Makina. Haruderu-san, is the girl really alive? Yes. She received appropriate first aid treatment at the scene, and the surgery afterward was a success as well. But she was shot with a pistol, yes? 2 bullets struck her in the lower flank, but fortunately there was no damage to her internal organs. In that case, why isn't she waking up? According to the doctor's diagnosis, there's likely a psychosomatic element to her condition. Accordingly, we had her transferred to this hospital. I suppose that means she will open her eyes eventually, yes? That's correct. Although it's irregular, the monitors have apparently recorded several occasions on which she woke up in the middle of the night. Long-term treatment will likely be necessary, but they believe she will recover. Good lord, again? It's the same as when her father died. How many years will she spend lying around the hospital bed this time? Not that I'm particularly complaining. I suppose it saves us some hassle. There's no need to be concerned. We'll be covering the hospital fees and any other relevant expenses. And that's not what Should Makina stay asleep like this for another 3 years, she will be completely divested of her rights of inheritance. It might be the best thing for her, really. But come to think of it, I suppose that scenario poses us a bit of a problem in its own right. A problem? At present, Makina's sister Sarina is serving as the head of the Irisu as a proxy for the legal heir. But as I'm sure you're aware, Sarina was gravely wounded in the brutal attack orchestrated by a malicious faction within the main family. It was quite a shock to us all, I assure you. Particularly to my own mother. I have to admit I found it satisfying to see the tediously hard old woman finally wither before my eyes, but as a mother myself, it's somewhat troublesome to have both of my daughters out of order. Well, it comes with being a crime family, I suppose. I suppose either of the two recovering would be adequate, but to be honest, I don't have particularly high hopes for Makina at this point. Makina's body wasn't... Did you say her internal organs were undamaged, didn't you? You can't be suggesting. As I said, Sarina is gravely injured and her condition has deteriorated. She's in urgent need of an organ donor. Given the circumstances, perhaps we could have Makina lend her a few? Please stop! Makina-san is in a stupor, but her ears are perfectly functional. Speaking carelessly could have serious... Oh, is that so? Makina, can you hear me? That would make this easier. Tell me, Makina, would you be willing to donate your organs to save Sarina's life? You can hear me, can't you? Makina? No response. It's like talking to a corpse. When both of your daughters are all but dead, I think it's only logical to sacrifice one to save the other, where possible. But tell me, Haruderu-san, do you have any thoughts on the matter? I'm not qualified to make such a judgment. I must decline to answer. I get it. So that's why they kept me alive, huh? But sounds like I'm just gonna end up being killed anyway. Let me tell you now. Makina's mother is the most punchable of all the characters. And I'm guessing she's gonna be the main antagonist after all, right? After my death, they'll take the organs out of my body, transfer them into Sarina and help her get better. Maybe this is how it should be. Instead of just dying to protect a bunch of selfish grown-ups. If I die saving someone else's life, I bet I'll be able to go up to heaven, where Papa's waiting. That way I can see him again, and apologize. I'll tell him I'm sorry I couldn't do anything but watch. And I'll tell him thank you. I'll tell him that because he sacrificed himself to save me, I was able to meet my current Papa, Kazami Yuji. It was really fun. I'll tell him about how much fun it was. What if I were to stop this machine right now? Would the girl die, perhaps? Please stop! Even if you are a mother, that's a crime! Hey, Mom. Tell me something. Do you have any friends? Real friends. The kind who can't be bought with money. How many friends worth bragging about do you have in your life? I made lots of friends at Mihama Academy. Friends who made every day fun. I'll have to tell Papa about that, too. Incidentally, about that boy who was running around with her. What was his name again? You mean Kazami Yuji? Yes, that's it. Kazami Yuji-kun. Have you captured him yet? No, but we're making every effort to find him. What a troublesome boy. He was your pet dog, wasn't he? Yes. He has a fairly attractive face, and he certainly knows how to introduce himself, so I didn't particularly dislike him on a personal level. But I'm afraid those eyes are another matter entirely. They're the eyes of a murderer. He's clearly quite the rebellious sort, despite his utter powerlessness. Well, such is the nature of youth, I suppose, but nonetheless, I'm afraid that reckless youth may mean the boy's capable of anything. It's somewhat unsettling to have him scurrying around. Yes. Catch your dog, then have him put down. Or thrown to a fish factory on some isolated island. Whatever it is you people do, we'll bring all of our resources to bear. I would appreciate that. Of course. Yuji, where are you? And what are you doing? As the sky grows red and frail lines of cloud creep to the east, I catch the scent of curry on the breeze. Must be coming from some house in the neighborhood. Oh, so Yuji's still on the run, I see. It's a mellow, calming smell. Lulls your mind to sleep. When pressed to name a favorite food, I answer curry almost by default. But I don't remember exactly when I came to like it. Might just have been the stuff that really will either be edible no matter where it's coming from. But I think there was probably more to it than that. I think something about the warm, simple domesticity of our curry powerfully appealed to me. I walked quickly away, escaping the peaceful scent leaking out of some family's kitchen. By the time it's faded completely, I found a small park suitable for a brief rest. There's a single light van parked on the road just outside the park. Looks like a commercial vehicle. As I enter the park, I casually glance at the logo on the door and the license plate in the back, but it doesn't seem to be one of our unmarked vehicles. Peeking briefly in the side window, I find the driver lying with his seat down, a popular weekly magazine folded over his face. There are a number of large cardboard boxes in the luggage space behind the man. Inside one with an open lid, I can make out a number of new-looking, deep blue work uniforms. Probably just a slightly sleep-deprived employee of a normal company. Must have stopped to take a quick nap and ended up sleeping right through the evening. Nothing to worry about, I guess. My hand still clenched in my pocket, isn't oozing cold sweat. And I've got a pretty sensitive nose for danger. Back when I was a rookie, it was so pronounced that when I'd flinch in fear at the shaking of tree branches in the wind, my pulse raced every time someone walked toward me. I was half convinced they'd shoot me as dead as we passed each other. But in time my nose adjusted to the field, to that ever-present prickling tension in the air, and my sense of smell grew more precise. I strolled into the park, taking in my surroundings by pretending to look for someone, then dropped myself heavily down onto a wooden bench. It's already 6:45 by the watch on my left wrist. This would be the first time I've gotten off of my feet in around 9 hours. As you might expect, I'm slightly fatigued. It's not going to be long before it gets dark out and my head starts throbbing again. I have to find myself someplace to lay low before night falls. These last few days, I've just been catnapping in late-night movie theaters and soaking in saunas for a few hours. Can't say I remember eating any solid meals either. Come to think of it, the last time I ate was probably at that beef bowl place yesterday. A full 24 hours ago by now. I'm still managing to change my underwear every once in a while, but the suit I bought soon after we hit the road is getting pretty shabby looking by now. Not that I have enough money to buy a new outfit at this point. I did consider leaving Tokyo and slipping myself into some group of foreign laborers to earn little pocket money, but I can't leave Makina. I'm aware the girl was carried by ambulance to a different hospital recently. The security there has proven just as sloppy, fortunately. I've snuck into Makina's room numerous times in the night, spoken to her as she lies sleeping in her bed. I was worried about her condition, of course, but the real reason I keep risking capture to see Makina is a much more selfish one. I just miss her so badly I can't stay away. When the girl was taken from me and I found myself alone, I did calm down a little. I looked back and realized that I'd let momentum carry me into a pretty stupid stunt, but the overwhelming absence of my side where Makina used to be only gets more unbearable by the hour. One by one, the dormant scars on my heart are opening with the groan of tearing flesh. From many jagged mouths, my vicious, cowardly, warped, spiteful other self begins to speak. You've gone mad, Yuji. For a woman you've known for only months, you abandoned the organization that took you in. The commander who treated you like family. Rank ingratitude. Tell me, who exactly do you expect to look after you now that you've proven yourself lower than trash? Nobody's going to protect you anymore. Why would they bother? You're a piece of equipment. You break things. You inflict pain. You kill people. That's all there is to you. Don't delude yourself otherwise. You're a weakling. Think about it. You've always been hiding behind the protection of others, haven't you? Running from one protector to the next. Watching them die. How many have you gone through by now? Shut up. Someone has to be sacrificed to keep a weakling like you alive. Someone has to be killed. Someone has to die in your place. That's not true. I've struggled forward. I'm not like I used to be. I've grown. That's a delusion. Act out the person you want to become. Someday, what you are inside will catch up with what you pretend to be. Asako's words. But surely you don't still believe them? That was the white lie of a kind adult, designed to manipulate you out of your shell. Shut up. The hell does it matter? Even lies become real if you believe in them long enough. If you act strong, someday you'll become strong. This is exactly why you're still a child. And because you act without considering the consequences. So here we are. You puffed out your chest and declared you'd protect Makina. You betrayed the company that's been looking after you for many years. You pushed your luck and now everything's gone to hell. What happens next? I'll do whatever I have to. What will be, will be. There's no way to know how this will end. Irresponsible as always. You're really content to resign yourself to fate. Well, what do you want me to do? Kill. Just kill every last person who gets in your way. Tell me, what's your top priority? To protect Makina. To keep the woman I love safe. And what's getting in the way? You already have the answer, don't you? There's no reason to sit around thinking. Act. I don't have the means. A flimsy excuse. Means aren't relevant to murder. Princes die the same as peasants. And a man who isn't planning on coming back alive can kill just about anyone. As long as he doesn't plan on coming back alive, you can kill. But didn't you say it yourself? If you're coming to take someone's life, go in prepared to lose your own instead. If you want someone dead, don't start thinking about saving your own skin. When you need to kill, be ready to die. Exactly right. What's your life worth to you anyway? Pointless, ugly little thing they handed to you on a scrap of paper. Surely you're not that attached to it. Yeah, guess that works. I can hear the cracks in my heart widening into fissures, and the creaking of a door opening in darkness. Hello. Are you alright? Ah, sorry, what? What's the matter, sir? What do you mean? It's a little late to be spacing out in the park like this, you know. I thought you might be feeling under the weather. Must have been more than a little out of it. For a moment, I can't even process the person standing in front of me. I hurriedly snap myself awake and focus. The man's a uniformed cop, probably in his 40s. Silver badge, 2 stripes. Probably the local head patrol officer. Warning bells ringing in my head, I instantly plaster a smile onto my face. Conditioned reflex I've been working on for many years now. Sorry, looks like I nodded off. Okay, see that over there? I point out the van, sitting silently by the entrance of the park. I was taking a business trip to Nagano with a coworker from my company, but the old man said he was tired from all the driving, so he took a little break. You wouldn't believe the way he snores. Just slipped out to take a rest here, that's all. I see. Although he gives every sign of being convinced by my explanation, the man's a veteran who spent many years on the neighborhood beat. Probably had a reason for striking up this friendly little chat. I'm willing to bet he sensed something a little off about me. Caught a whiff of bloodlust in the air. His occupation's pretty different from mine, but like I said, a sense of smell honed in the field isn't to be underestimated. So what's your line of work? We manufacture work clothes and uniforms. Lately, there's been a real flood of cheap crap from overseas, so a little company like us has to run around constantly just to keep our heads above water. Sounds pretty rough. Even as he's offering me a convincingly friendly smile, the patrol officer takes out his POT, a modified PDA looking up vehicles and criminal records, and keys in the license plate number. After looking at the screen for a few moments, he nods with a non-committal rubs his chin thoughtfully, and stows a little terminal back in its leather case. Sorry to interrupt your nap, but the road in front of the park is actually no stopping, no standing area. Would you mind moving? Sorry about that. I'll wake up the old man right away. Be careful not to fall asleep at the wheel, alright? Yes. Sorry for the bother. Okay then, good luck with your job. Yeah, I'll do my best. No matter how hard I try, this is the only way I can get anything done, but I'll do my best. Thinking isn't going to fix my problems. Standing still isn't going to set the wheels in motion. Even now, precious seconds are flowing uselessly down the drain. I push myself up off the bench and walk towards a small van just outside the park. The patrol officer is watching me from behind. Seems he intends to wait until I get into the vehicle and leave. I suppress the urge to mutter a few choice words under my breath. Suppose this is almost convenient in a way. Approaching the van, I rap lightly on the side window with my knuckles. The driver must have been in a pretty deep sleep. He jerks up in surprise at the sound, sending the magazine on his face flying, and looks around in bleary-eyed confusion. After finally noticing me crouched outside his door, he reluctantly lowers the window. My apologies, sir, but I need a word. My identification. I quietly hold out a folded piece of leather about the size of a pass case, with a gold badge embedded in its surface. After a moment, I let it fall open and show the man its contents. Inside is a combination identification and electronic pass card, describing me as a member of the Special Governmental Organization, Central Intelligence and Research, 2nd Division. I don't usually carry this thing around, but it does sometimes prove useful as a stopgap measure when I run into issues with Sakuramon. So I dug it out of the depths of my backpack a few days ago. You need something? The man in the driver's seat rubs his eyes for a moment, then carefully compares the photograph on the card with my face. Perfectly natural reaction when you're knocked out of a pleasant nap by some random guy in street clothes with some bizarre ID you've never even seen before. Probably doesn't help that I look about 20 years too young to be working for a government agency of any kind. There's more than a little suspicion in his eyes. I'm currently investigating an automobile bombing incident that occurred in Mishima Cape recently, and the foreign terrorist group thought to be responsible for that crime is just called a new threat. We have reason to believe they've planted explosives on a vehicle in this neighborhood. A bomb? Quietly, sir. Please keep your voice down. Wait, but I've been inside the van the whole time, you know? I don't remember anyone placing... Modern bombs are extremely efficient and often quite small. Many can be installed in less than 10 minutes. In any case, we need to move this van. Could you please open the passenger side door? What? Move it? You want me to drive? You can't get out here. The explosives could be set to go off when the suspicion extends. For now, we need to get away from this area. With those words, I turn and wave a hand at the patrol officer watching us from the park, who responds with an earnest salute. As the driver starts in surprise at the presence of the uniformed policeman, I glance down at my watch and whisper, "Hurry," in a controlled but urgent tone of voice. Off balance and alarmed, the man hurriedly unlocks the passenger door. I slide into the seat and snap on my belt and glare fiercely out the front window at nothing in particular. Please take it nice and slow. I'll take over in the driver's seat after we gain a little distance. Okay. Thank you for your cooperation. With quavering hands, the driver turns his key and starts the engine. The light van glides gingerly down the road like a child walking on thin ice. Makes its way toward the highway where the street lights are beginning to snap awake, and disappears into the hustle and bustle of the city. Hey, Chief. Aren't you hungry? Let's get something delivered. Hello, ma'am? Are you asleep or what? Oh, pipe down. I was just trying to think. What is it? I'm asking you if you're hungry. Come on, let's order something. I think not. Eating would only make us drowsy. I'll give you a break at 9, so tough it out a little longer. No way. That's not for 45 minutes. I only had yogurt and a tuna sandwich for lunch, you know? I don't know and I don't care. Suck it up. Easy for you to say, Chief. The client treated you to Italian after that visit to Makina in the hospital, right? So lucky. I pass on the meal. Haven't had anything but a little soba by the station myself. Spare me the whining. Seriously? What a waste. Wait, so he drove up some neighborhood soba stall in that bright yellow sports car? Stood there slurping up noodles with that blonde hair and expensive suit? That seems like it takes some courage in its own right. Cut the dog chatter and focus on your job. So he keeps saying, but 9029 hasn't made any conspicuous movements in days, you know? Maybe he's just hightailed overseas or something? No, definitely not. The man doesn't give up that easily. Okay, but Irisu Makina's on our hands now, right? What's 9029's final objective here? I wouldn't be losing so much sleep if I knew that. Not to say that I don't have any suspicions. I would say 9029's general objective is most likely the permanent liberation of Irisu Makina. Permanent liberation? Sorry, what does that mean? Exactly what it sounds like. He wants to establish a set of circumstances in which Irisu Makina can live out the rest of her life as she pleases, free from all obstruction and coercion. And how on earth is he planning to make that happen? About that. Don't worry, I know where to find it. About that. I'll probably do exactly what I did for the first one. I won't show the video for obvious reasons. Of course, I would definitely read out the dialogue if I did just react to it again. The second one. Well, not again, but react to the other one. If I did that, I would just read out almost all the dialogue again. Just like I did for the first one, since I couldn't even adequately go put the dialogue on screen. Like, I didn't even want to really go through the trouble of trying to censor an H scene on live stream, so I just didn't even show, like, any footage from it at all. I just had to read out the dialogue myself. There are two plausible methods. Take Irisu Makina and run around for 3 years, or utterly destroy all those who pose a threat to her. How's he supposed to take her anywhere? The girl's in our custody now, and more importantly, she's in a coma. Well, we call it a coma, but she has been waking up in the night, and we don't have anyone posted to guard the hospital either. It wouldn't be impossible to take her out if we wanted to. Why don't we have any guards posted? The client didn't ask for any, you know. That's not much of a reason. I doubt they particularly care if she's carried off. It would be easier to arrange a convincing accident outside of the hospital, after all. Lovely. I really shouldn't have asked. But doesn't that mean 9029 is kind of at a dead end here? Were you even listening to me? I said there are two methods, didn't I? But we're talking about the Irisu clan here. They're not going to run out of people to send after him, no matter how many he takes out. No matter how enormous an organization may be, it always has its weak point. The Irisu's weak point? I'm drawing a blank. An organization is a living thing, and generally speaking, you can kill any living creature by crushing its head. So if you're talking about the Irisu clan's core, the brain, so to speak. Talking about killing the brain, physicist meanwhile is playing Lobotomy Corporation. Yeah, well, while we're bringing out just killing the brain. Lobotomy Corporation. It'd have to be Irisu Kyoka. I'd say it's safe to assume 9029 will be looking to assassinate her. That's incredibly serious. If you had that much figured out, why aren't we taking action right now? Are you really doing your job over there? We've had 4-digit agents guarding Irisu Kyoka at a distance for the last 2 weeks. Huh? Seriously? Look up our deployments on the computer if you don't believe me. It's true. It's true. 2 4-digits and 4 3-digits to boot. Quite the royal sweet mint. I nearly just let that one go, but I think you probably meant royal treatment. Japanese big hard, yes? Look, you're 2/3 Japanese. Well, I'm 1/3 African, so there. What part of Africa? Inoshima? You have a problem with Inoshima? I'll kick your butt. Let me take a rain check on that one. What's the status of our defenses at Irisu Global Headquarters? What's my brother playing Lobotomy Corporation have to do anything? Well, yeah, while we're talking about just killing the brain. Lobotomy is a sort of operation you do perform on the brain to just seriously reduce its functionality. Alright, at the moment everything appears to be normal. All the multi-story structures in the area are clear as well. There's no guarantee 902 will always choose sniping as his method. Are they checking everyone going into that building? We've received a complaint in regards to that, actually. We're requiring an ID card type entry permit to get inside, and the subcontractors who come and go are really kicking up a fuss. Wait. What? What is it? The team assigned to check the visitors isn't one of ours. Ah, yes. Seems there was a lot of back and forth going on upstairs. Sakura-Demon's second mobile unit's in charge of the check-ins now. Apparently, we've even set up a temporary joint investigation headquarters. What a giant pain in the rear. How do we get that foisted on us? The situation's dragged on too long for us to be worrying about putting down our fires. Unfortunately, our internal affairs director and their public safety chief were classmates of students, and absolutely despise each other. Heard the rumors about that one. Isn't their safety chief married to an ex-girlfriend of our IA director? I really hope this doesn't turn to a pissing contest. Too many cooks cock up the sweetmeats, as they say. Japanese is such a funny language. This isn't a laughing matter. What are we going to do if 902 really does kill Kyoka? Just to be on the safe side, I've planned out something for that scenario as well. Which do you think works better? A dastardly terrorist from the north or a dastardly terrorist from the east? You're planning to cover up 902's crime? If you'd like to bring the Arisu a gift basket and say please accept my sincere apologies for our dog's inexcusable behavior, you can feel free. Good lord, no! And that's exactly why we're skipping meals to focus on our work. Understand? Glue your face to that monitor and don't peel it off until I say you can. Oh, jeez. Yes, ma'am. At times like these, I can't help but think, if only Asako were here. If Asako was still alive, she'd probably talk Yuji down in minutes. But then again, if Asako was still alive, it never would have come to this in the first place. Kazami Yuji can't kill people. The trauma of his childhood and the words of his mentor stay his hand. But taking Arisu Makina from him may have pulled out that safety pin for good. Honestly, you left behind one hell of a nasty little memento, Asako. Metropolitan area, certain place. 10 minutes after forcibly commandeering the light van. Have the driver pull over and get out under the pretense of inspecting the vehicle, then inform him it's being confiscated as evidence. I explained that I have no legal authority to silence him, but it would be wise to keep quiet and avoid possible conflicts with Ministry of Defense bylaws. When he nods, I promise the van will be returned in 2 days and hand him JB's card. So you just carjacked his vehicle. The driver's face crumples in relief as he accepts it with both hands. Is he really gonna get that other car in 30 minutes or no? In any case, now I got myself a suitable method of transportation. Leaving the van I've borrowed at a parking deck connected to a movie theater, I buy a few plastic bottles of water at a convenience store, then head down to a nearby subway station. Not that I'm actually planning on using a train this time. Making my way to the coin lockers inside the station, I retrieve my personal belongings and Makina's apple seedling, then go to my knees and carefully water the plant. I have been wandering around aimlessly for the last 2 weeks. I've been moving and gathering information, looking for a way to break out of this dead-end situation quickly and decisively. There aren't many cards left in my hand, and among them only one stands out as an efficient and practical play. Even so, I've been conflicted. Still am. There's a part of me casting around desperately in search of the most peaceful possible solution, and part of me hissing, you know the quickest way to end this, so get moving. It's not really much of a debate. I'm probably just hesitating. The person Asako raised me to be, a person who chose not to kill, is making his last stand against the vicious thing that's been sealed away inside me since I was a child. Even now I can feel the balance slipping by little with every passing minute. This agonizing won't last much longer. Yeah. There's only one way to wrap up everything neatly, isn't there? I take out the backpack I'd stowed with the ceiling of my locker and retrieve the small gun stashed away at the bottom. It's a double-action automatic. Takes 13 9mm bullets. JB gave me the thing in a personal capacity for use as a concealed carry sidearm. But I found the quirkiness of the firing sequence hard to get used to. It's been sitting in the bottom of my packback for a very long time. I unlock and open the case, then take out the well-oiled body of the weapon, remove the double column magazine and fill it with ammunition. Returning the loaded mag to the stock, I pull the slide assembly back, push the first bullet firmly into the chamber, and release my grip on the squeeze cocker beneath the trigger guard. The firing pin promptly returns to the safety position. Honestly, what the hell am I supposed to do with this thing? Still, I got no choice but to manage. Slipping the small pistol in between my belt and waist, I return the backpack to the locker, then get to my feet with the potted apple tree in my hands. But first, better go reinforce my resolve. I make my way back into the subway station crowds, setting off with the ceiling against the flow of businessmen on their way home. About 1 hour later, I find Matsuzawa Psychiatric still and quiet. It's already well past visiting hours. As always, there aren't any guards or even observers posted in the area. My infiltration consists of slipping in easily through a ground-level emergency exit. I follow a hallway faintly illuminated by the neon glow of the sign above the door. An empty flight of stairs takes me to the 3rd floor, where I make my way toward a secluded private suite. At the very back of the 3rd floor, I glance at the nameplate Irisu Makina hanging horizontally across the final door, then slide it quietly open with no hesitation whatsoever. Hey, Makina. I'm back. This might be the last time I see you, so I brought your plant today. And well, okay, sorry, but I've made up my mind. To kill your mother. Don't worry. I'll pull it off perfectly. I'll set you free. Papa. What, were you awake? Hey, Papa. You brought me the apple tree? Yeah, that I did. I've been watering it and everything. Thank goodness. I couldn't stop worrying about it. Makina, do you think you can make it out to the front of the station tomorrow evening? Well, let's see. Guess I can make it as long as I can get up. By tomorrow evening, everything should be over, so let's meet up and find ourselves someplace to live together. Right. Don't like the idea? That ain't it. But if I disappear, my little sister, Serena's not gonna make it. What are you talking about? My little sister's getting worse. She might die. And I guess they need my organs to save her. The hell's with that? So that's how it is. So that's what's been keeping her alive since they got their hands on her. The bastards. Don't worry. I'll wrap everything up nice and clean. Just be waiting tomorrow at 1800 hours in front of the station. I'll definitely come to pick you up. Yeah, gotcha. I'll be waiting. So make sure you come, alright? Yeah, I promise. Okay, that's a promise. Back asleep already, huh? Well, now that I've gone and made her a promise, guess I'll have to keep it. If I were to disappear, who'd keep this girl safe? Who's going to protect a girl whose own mother wants to kill her? I want to make her into a woman who can stand on her own 2 feet. Even when I'm no longer there to support her, but there's no more time. They've backed us into a corner. All I can do now is finish this as quickly and thoroughly as possible. I've sharpened my fangs. I've torn off my collar. Nothing left to do but charge up my enemy and rip out their throat. Changing into a plain workman's uniform from the back of my van, I head out to the highway. The trip to Irisu Global Headquarters takes 40 uneventful minutes. I exit the highway a little early and quietly make my way to a local street that runs along the back of the Irisu headquarters. Within a few minutes, the surface entrance comes into view ahead, marked only by a plain series of guide lights. A Sakura Demon is currently subjecting every vehicle to extensive security checks before letting it onto the ramp. There's a decent backlog of minivans and trucks lined up waiting to enter. I reach past the AC vent to flip on my hazard lamps, pull one wheel up onto the shoulder so traffic can pass, and queue up at the end of the line. A police officer had been watching my approach promptly approaches, his boots slapping noisily against the pavement. He's carrying a binder and ballpoint pen in one hand, with the other. He knocks lightly on my side window. Could you stop your engine, please? Ah, yeah. Even as a sulky frown flashes across my face, I obediently reach down and twist my key in the ignition. Then lower the driver's side window, grab the entry permit sitting on top of the dashboard, and present it to the officer. The officer accepts the paper, slips it into his binder, cranes his head a little to check my license plate number, then begins scratching away diligently at some form or other. This part's a gamble. A calculated gamble, but a gamble nonetheless. Over the last few weeks, I've been stealthily visiting the area around Irisu HQ at irregular moments, probing and observing the security. About a week ago, I realized that a mobile police unit had been placed in charge of inspecting all incoming deliveries. Until then, our people have been in charge, so I've been forced to keep a wary distance, but I'm willing to bet some political wrangling about Ichigaya's earlier blunders resulted in the establishment of an extremely superficial joint investigation headquarters, with the cops taking over a few minor jobs like this. This sort of thing is always the brainchild of someone in Kasumi Gaseki, and often results in the cooperating agencies competing in an attempt to show off to said bureaucrat, and even at the best of times, Sakura demanded my employer on terrible terms, frequently neglecting to share even crucial information. Healthy rivalries and in-house competition are all well and good, but when things get out of hand, you just end up sabotaging each other. Very convenient now that I find myself on the other side. Look, I don't know what you guys are supposed to be looking out for here, but how long is this gonna last? We're all busy people, you know. I'm aware. Just doing my job myself, alright? I'm sorry, but I have to ask for your patience and cooperation. And on that note, mind letting me have a look at your driver's license? Of course, it's just one of the numerous cover IDs my company prepared for me in the days when we were on better terms. Could you remove your hat, please? The policeman checks the photograph on my license and looks up to it compared with my own features. Squinting irritably as he shines his flashlight in my eyes, I shove my face forward for examination. That's enough. Thank you very much. While carefully accepting the license back, I shoot a quick glance at my rearview mirror out the corner of my eye. There's already quite a few new arrivals waiting behind my van for their own inspection. One or two of them begun noisily revving up their engines as if to say, get a move on. Yes, just a minute. Grimacing at the noise, the policeman wedges the binder with my fake entry permit under his arm, then bends down and pokes something that looks like a motorcycle rearview mirror beneath the vehicle, examining the undercarriage. Looks like the forgery of the permit went fairly well, at least. 4 days ago, I managed to approach one of the trucks lined up here, waiting to enter the warehouse. After presenting one of my company IDs, I asked to see their permit, which I then quietly photographed with a digital camera. With those images as a base, I used a PC in a net cafe in Shin Okobo to mock up a falsified document, and printed it out in a neighborhood copy shop. Pretty half-assed job, but the cop doesn't seem to have any suspicions at the moment. Okay then, alright if I take a look at your cargo? Yeep. Answering in the grouchy tone of a man who's having his time wasted, I reach to the side of my seat and yank up the lever that controls the van's hatchback. As the rear door swings upward with the soft hiss of extending dampers, the policeman sticks his head inside, opening the lids of the cardboard boxes one after the other. He sticks a hand into the work uniforms packed inside, confirming that I'm not hiding anything suspicious inside. You from a uniform company? Yeah, that's right. They're working you pretty late, huh? We're in the same boat there, right? Come on, please finish up already. It's gonna be a real pain if you mess up all the merchandise like that. Sorry for the hassle. Almost done. Come on, aren't you done yet? Gotta move on! An angry shout from the driver of the next truck cuts through the air. Damn straight, let's get a move on here. If somebody from the company looks into that driver's license number, it's an instant game over. I'd really like to be inside before that happens. That's all I need. Go ahead and move on to the ramp. Right, thanks. Okay, next, move your vehicle forward, then stop your engine. Guess the public sector is not all sunshine, donuts, and fat pensions, huh? Muttering these sympathetic sentiments to no one in particular, I start the van's engine. Then guide it smoothly onto the entrance ramp, leading down into the basement of Irisu Global Headquarters. Irisu Global President's Office. Do we have any idea how long these extraordinary security measures will continue? Numerous departments have informed us of delays in operations, and many of the suppliers are submitting complaints. Well, I did ask them not to make too much of a fuss about this, but it seems two public agencies coexisting in the same building is somewhat problematic. They're all tiresomely enthusiastic. This has been going on for a good 2 weeks now, ma'am. Should things continue like this for another 10 days or so, we're going to begin incurring fairly significant losses. Yes, true. And I suppose my presence here is the cause. However, considering the situation with my daughter, I can't simply leave Japan at the moment. How very troublesome. Perhaps the two of you could temporarily take a trip overseas? I suppose so. It's gotten rather chaotic over here, so that might be for the best. Is Father's plane available? Yes, we can arrange for a flight by 4 in the afternoon tomorrow. In that case, please do so. I'll be taking both Makina and Sarina with me, so contact the relevant hospitals and inform my mother. Certainly. While you're at it, pick out some vaguely appropriate gift for a sympathy visit to Mother. Some sort of drapery, as always. Yes, that's fine. And some chestnut manju buns from Surya as well, if you'd be so kind. I seem to recall that your mother dislikes red bean paste. I believe there was a rather heated fight when you brought her mooncakes as a souvenir. I remember, of course. Mother can't stand chestnuts either. Why else would I be bringing them to her? Of course. I'll have them prepared at once. I would appreciate that. Please excuse me. So tired. Well, holy shit. About time you came back. Where the heck you been? Don't get all day here, you know. What? Who are you? Oh, you don't gotta freak out on me, miss. I'm just the delivery man. Got a package to drop off. A delivery? Wait. How did you even get up here? Huh? How the hell did you think? Said I had a package for the Prez. The lady at the reception desk said, well, go take it on upstairs then. That can't be right. What receptionist told you that? What do I care? Anywho, I'm here to deliver this to the president. Directly to the president. Da. What's inside the package? The hell do I know? They just told me to deliver the thing. Probably just one of them bomb coochies or what have you. Hi, a bomb. Would you mind if I looked inside? Fine by me, but on your own head be it. Arching one eyebrow dubiously, Miss Sawada accepts the cardboard box and removes the lid. Huh? Inside are numerous heavy-duty nylon ropes. And on top of these there's a single scrap of paper. Don't make a sound or you're dead. Miss Sawada stares blankly at the words for a moment, her mouth hanging open slightly in bewilderment, before raising her face questioningly to me. This... What, you illiterate? Don't make a sound or you're going to die. I pull out my handgun from the breast pocket of my work uniform, firmly depressing the squeeze cock at the right of the firing pin. Eek! I said not to make a sound. Thrusting the gun forward threateningly, I use my free hand to remove the cap on my head and spit out the tissue paper I stuffed in my cheeks. Miss Sawada's eyes go wide with shock. You're Kazama Yuji! I was taught to laugh off a woman's stupidity 3 times, so that was your last strike. The next time you make a sound, I'm going to kill you. Apparently sensing something in my dark, sunken eyes, Miss Sawada bites firmly down on her lower lip and proceeds to glare angrily up at me in complete silence. That a girl. I'm going to borrow this. Holding the gun steady in my right hand, I quickly reach out my left and pull out a handkerchief that had been peeking out of the secretary's breast pocket. Give me an ah. What's wrong? Open your mouth. Come on, ah. Ah? You got no idea how ridiculous you look. Just a joke. Don't get angry. Keep your hands on top of the desk. Don't go for the alarm button. I balled the handkerchief and stuffed it into Sawada's mouth, then fix the gag in place with a nylon rope from the box. Stand up. Slowly come out from behind the desk. Put your knees on the ground and hold out your hands behind you. Sorry, this might hurt a little, but tough it out. Miss Sawada seems to have decided that resistance would be pointless, as she obediently follows my instructions and waits quietly to be bound. Taking several more cords of nylon rope, I quickly tie her hands behind her back, link her ankles together, and finally connect the 2 bundles to immobilize her completely. That posture will probably get a little painful after a while. Why don't we lie you down? Slipping my hands under Sawada's armpits, I gently lower her sideways onto the thick carpet. The secretary squirms around a little after being appended. Once you're on the ground in this position, it's impossible to get back up on your own power. Whew. Exhaling quietly, I review every step in the process that brought me here, searching for any potential oversights. Everything that's gone pretty much exactly according to plan so far. Once I got inside, it was surprisingly smooth sailing. After following the ramp down to the delivery entrance at the very bottom of the tower, I hauled out the cardboard boxes from the back of my van and began to load them onto a large freight elevator. Now I had to come up with an inconspicuous route upward. The final cardboard box in my arms, I was casually glancing in the direction of the emergency exit when I noticed another man in a uniform working nearby. The man loaded a few crates from the panel van he'd presumably driven down here, then wheeled his pallet jack into the elevator and slipped into the corner of the cage. You not getting in? Taking the man's question as my cue, I followed him into the elevator, and with almost disappointing ease found myself rising to the third-floor warehouse. My new colleague took off his hat and offered a brief greeting to the manager, then wheeled his delivery off into the maze of shelves with the easy familiarity of a man in his own home. One of 5 climaxes, I suppose, right? I mean, there's 5 routes, aren't there? A little way inside, I stopped and took out a notebook from the pocket of my uniform, pretending to double-check where I needed to stow my packages. Soon enough, the other man finished his own delivery and headed back out. Instead of riding the freight elevator back down, the delivery man simply said, "Can you get the door, please?" In response, the manager pressed a button to unlock a door leading to an external emergency staircase. The man nodded his thanks and slipped outside. Probably needed to go down a floor to get some documents signed. After briefly considering the matter, I decided to make use of the emergency stairs myself. A single sentence to the manager got me outside, but instead of heading downstairs, I climbed up to the 4th floor where an inviting door offered access to an internal evacuation staircase. The problem was opening it. An emergency exit is only intended to open one way. For obvious reasons, they're designed not to be accessible from the outside. But I haven't spent years on the Ichigaya payroll for show. I was taught a method that you can get inside one of these with a bit of delicate fiddling. A little time-consuming, but it almost always works. However, even if it was possible to unlock the door, I couldn't just swing the thing carelessly open. An emergency exit of this sort has an alarm device active by default. The instant it opens, an ear-splitting bell goes off, and building security will instantly be contacted. As a countermeasure, I used the classic trick, deceiving the alarm with a bit of aluminum foil. I took Makina's pack of grape-flavored Bubble King gum from my pocket, unwrapped one stick, and popped it into my mouth. Folding the wrapping paper into a flat sheet, I stuck the piece of gum onto it as an adhesive and fixed it over the alarm sensor. After a few minutes of work on the door, I slipped quietly into the deserted evacuation staircase, and without further difficulty made my way straight up to the 12th floor. Now it's just a matter of getting into the president's office, but... whoops, that was a bit sloppy. So yeah. Sounds like Yuji's definitely gonna try and kill Makina's mother here. Yeah, I knew this was coming, by the way. I mean, this video, Yuji kills Makina's mother, kept on popping up in my recommended over, like, the course of the past 2 months or so. Yeah, Yuji kills Makina's mother, kept on showing up in my recommended, so I kind of already knew this was coming. Pretty much already knew that Makina's mother was going to be the main antagonist, like, almost this whole time, really. I glanced back at the secretary, lying on the ground with her body arched like a shrimp, only her face pointing this way. It looked like something out of the anime, yes. Could always just chop off a finger, but that's a bit much. Might make things awkward when you're getting intimate with your boyfriend. Can't have that. Pushing my gun into the belly of my work uniform, I hauled Miss Sawada up off the thick rug. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Pipe down. I'm just going to borrow your finger for a second. Don't make too much noise or I'll just snip one off with that pair of scissors on your desk. Lifting Sawada over my shoulder, I bring her to the door and guide the index finger of her right hand to the scanner. Okay, thanks. We're good now. Gently lowering the secretary back to the floor, I firmly grab hold of the doorknob. Do or die time. Possibly both. Pardon me. Kazami Yuji reporting in. Okay, I want to overwrite not this save, this save. There we go. Huh? Irisu Kyoka's eyes opened wide with shock. A deep-fried Okaki cracker freezing halfway to her mouth. Snacking in the middle of the night. You're going to put on weight, you know. I glanced briefly at the corner of the ceiling. The surveillance camera's activity light isn't on. I'm willing to bet Irisu Kyoka deliberately turned the thing off to keep her midnight snack private. You? Why are you here? Why are you here? How did you get in? Women always ask the same questions. I pulled a small handgun out of my work uniform. My previous visit made it clear that further discussion is pointless. Today I've come to eliminate you as a threat to Irisu Makina. Eliminate? Look, let's just calm down for a moment. Sorry, not interested. Talking just makes the trigger heavier. I should have shot this woman dead the moment I saw her. I've already made this harder than it needed to be. Don't falter, Yuji. Pull the trigger. Now, before the momentum fades. Sensing my momentary hesitation, Kyoko leaps forward, aiming for the door behind me. Damn it! As the woman tries to slip past my side, I swing my arm in a vicious arc, slamming the butt of my pistol into her temple. Her body jerks backward. I sweep her legs out from under her, and she tumbles to the ground. Did you just strike me? Yeah, that I did. Tell me something. Did your parents ever hit you? Never. I've never been hit by anyone in my life, much less my parents. Figured as much. That explains a lot. What about it? It just means I never made any mistakes worthy of a beating. That's a delusion. An egotistical fantasy. Your parents guide you around every bump in the road, and when you tripped over your own feet, you found someone else to blame. You lived your life in denial of your own shortcomings. You were chauffeured down a life others set out for you. Never spanked, never frustrated, never knowing pain. That's why you turned into a woman who could sacrifice her own daughter without so much as a twinge of conscience. What would a child like you know? What can you possibly understand about me? Oh, I understand. My father was the same way. The old man was a waste of space who spent most of his life eating through his inheritance. When he screwed up or things took a bad turn, he'd take it out on the people around him. He knocked me around to forget his troubles. Thought every other person in the world was trash. Any living thing that he couldn't use to his advantage was worthless. Didn't even see us as human beings. Pissed him off just to look at us. This ring any bells? Nothing but the pride of a lowlife with an inferiority complex. We got the same disease, and there's no curing it now. If I don't kill you, Makina's going to die instead. Hold on. You're going to kill me for Makina's sake? Listen, that would be pointless. Even if you kill me, there are many others who want the girl dead. That's not relevant. If anyone else comes to kill her, I'll eliminate them one by one, as many times as it takes. Alright, let's make a deal, shall we? Spare my life, and I'll make sure Makina comes to no harm. I know. If you'd like, why not marry Makina? I'm sure it'd make for a much nicer life than being used up and thrown away by that bizarre organization of yours. Sounds nice. Always dreamed about that sort of thing. How about it? Let's do that. There's just one problem, though. I'd rather die than become your son. Yep, now that would probably be one of the worst things in the universe that could happen to you, becoming this mother's son. You know, I thought long and hard before I came here. I was very close to certain, but I tried to convince myself there was the slightest chance you cared about Makina as a mother. I mean, come on, having to settle things through killing? It's just too damn sad, isn't it? Of course. There's no need for that. Spare my life and no one will have to die. Listen to what I'm telling you. I thought long and hard and this was the answer. I've reached my conclusion. My will isn't weak enough to be swayed by your words. That's enough. Just pull the damn trigger. I'm assuming this is like, what, the voice in his head that's been telling him he's like a useless monster who doesn't deserve to live? Wait, Yushi doesn't want to kill, right? Don't let emotion cloud your mind any further. See why I kept egging you to try on this game. So, what you told me earlier, don't follow the logic you followed in a certain DDLC mod regarding a scene like this? Wow, this certainly looks a hell of a lot like the Fruit's main character when he was about to kill Hideki, so you're telling me to do the opposite of what I did to get the good ending in that, right? So killing her gets the bad ending, am I right? What are you to Makina? I know, I'm her father. I promised the girl I'd become her father. Wait, what are you talking about? Please listen. Please stop this. Don't kill me! What did I ever do to you? It's not like I killed Makina. If I've done something wrong, then I'll apologize. Please, forgive me. I'm begging you. I'll do anything. Haha, what an awful face. But I got the feeling. I've seen it somewhere before. Where was it? Now I get it. She looks just like Makina. Well, of course she does. They're parent and child, after all. It's only natural, right? Are you listening to me? Please. Shut up. Let's see the bad ending first. This is goodbye. Makina, it's over. I put an end to everything. This was for the best, wasn't it? Right. Makina? That's right. I got to get back. Have to meet Makina tomorrow. Okay, I did save, right? Well, I didn't save too far off from the actual choice. So I'll leave it like that for now. Then I guess once I see the bad ending, I'll click load. So what? Is he gonna get killed on the way back? In here! Hurry! Is he gonna fail to make his escape, though? Because I think he said, like, not too long earlier, something along the lines of, if you're prepared to kill, then be prepared to die, or something like that, right? Like, if you're going to kill, then don't be afraid to die. In any case, seems like I don't have much time to waste dawdling around. Ah, god damn it, what a pain in the ass. My head's killing me. Open the door. Hurry! Sounds like the guards are rushing to the next room or hurling their bodies against the door in an attempt to break it down. Well, if the door was that easy to knock open, it's not like I would have bothered unlocking it myself. Here, I'll get that for you. I twist the knob and open it from the inside, stepping into Sawada's office in one smooth motion. The men in black suits outside saw with a surprise that the door swings open. I bring my gun to bear and pull the trigger without hesitation. First, the man directly in front of me. I'll double tap into the admin then. Gah! As his partner falls, the other man hurriedly reaches for the P220JP in his holster. My next shot lands in his elbow. Gah! Unfortunately, this man's got good reflexes. Even as he falls backward from the impact to his elbow, his hand closes around the gun in his holster, firing off a shot in my general direction. I've never seen the bad ending before, but I know how it goes. It wasn't like he had time to aim, but by sheer bad luck, the bullet directly strikes my left thigh. A gaping hole opens in the trousers of my uniform, and a round clump of blood spurts violently out of the wound. Quickly suppressing the injury with my free hand, I jump to the side and return fire. Bastard! But the man's quick to recover as well. Rolling backward with the force of my bullet, he pulls out his gun from its holster and smoothly transfers the weapon to his undamaged weak hand. Before I can get a beat, he squeezes off multiple shots. God damn it! The muzzle flash and the sound of the bullet striking the wall behind me are simultaneous. Dodging isn't an option at this distance. Impacts on my right flank and left shoulder. A harsh buzzing like the wings of a wasp, but half my left ear is gone. God. Ah! I don't have the luxury of counting my bullets, let alone lining up a perfect shot. Pulling the trigger again and again, I rush forward at the man. Get the hell out of my way! It's a point-blank battle, almost like two boxers walking to the middle of a ring and slamming away at each other until one falls. Some detached part of me laughs scornfully. Not exactly a sniper sort of fight, and as my opponent falters, I burst past him into the hallway. Wait! Don't think I've ever met an assassin who will wait when you ask them to, but as I continue my sprint for the emergency exit, my knee abruptly gives out underneath me. Without time to ready myself for the fall, I crash face first to the floor. Ah, god damn it. Fucking hurts. I force myself to my knees, dragging my body up off the ground. The blood streaming out of my nose drips heavily from my chin, staining the carpet below. Don't screw with me, you piece of shit. Bracing myself with a hand on the wall, I support my wounded left leg protectively. Somehow I manage to stand, to crawl forward toward the emergency exit. Wait up, Makina. I'll definitely come pick you up. Good morning, Chiara. Good morning, Chief. Did you get a good night's sleep? Is that some kind of a joke? Yurisu Global's representative director was assassinated under our collective noses. What's more, Mad Dog was the criminal. I haven't had the time for so much as a nap. But it looks like the window dressing for the mass media went smoothly enough. They've been running the same news all morning, you know? Was a certain country's spy responsible for the crime and all? That's good. I was having a rather hard time choosing between that and the crazy believer from a certain religious group, actually. But that group seems to have lost its teeth after their founder was captured, you know? A little behind the times there. A religious group. I think the terror story was probably the right choice. It's all the same in the end. Nagato-cho is another chaos right now. Not to mention Wall Street, London, and Nihonbashi Kabuto-cho. This talk show now just did a whole segment on the shock of the Japanese economy, you know? Toilet paper shortages and all that. They didn't even need COVID. They just need to kill Makina's mother. No COVID necessary. And they're still having toilet paper shortages. No kung flu needed. Why? On a certain individual's recommendation. I bought a good bit of stock in a major paper manufacturing company in Chuo Ward the other day. That company that made fighter planes for the army in the war? Indeed. Well, lucky you. Who gave you a sweet tip like that anyway? That's a secret. More importantly, have we made any progress tracking number 9029's movements after fleeing the scene? We just can't seem to pick up his trail. At the moment, I guess we're cooperating with Sakuradamon and gathering witness reports, but they seem to be pretty irritable at the moment, so there's very little information flowing back to us. You can hardly blame them for that. There are fatalities among the security police, after all. The reports indicated our 9029 was gravely injured. He might well be lying dead in a ditch somewhere by now. He's not a sweet enough mutt to roll over and die that easily. But from the reports the public safety officers who responded to the scene, it seems he took at least 4 bullets. One of those seems to have taken a nasty ricochet off a concrete wall, so he must have been gravely injured. But we haven't found his corpse now, have we? I feel like it may be just a matter of time, to be honest. No! It's not like I'm particularly hoping that 9029's dead, you know? Yes, I understand that. But really, I wonder where he went. It's not like there's anywhere for him to return to. What about Irisu Makina's hospital? Have we posted anyone there? Nobody. I mean, the Irisu clan has other things to worry about right now. She's still sleeping in her bed as always. Wonder what happens to her now. I expect they'll take measures of some sort once the confusion dies down a little. Perhaps they'll restore Makina's as the family representative? Depends on how things play out. Her little sister, Sarina, hasn't died either. For the moment. I imagine they'll have something of a deadlock on their hands. Quite a mess they're in. It's not just their problem, you know. The fire started in our house. We're scraping and bowing left and right. That 9029 sure made our lives a lot harder. That's the way it always is. You could call it the nature of number 9029. Wonder if I'll end up as the case officer to a 9029 myself someday. Well, why not? Should the current 9029's death be confirmed, and we find ourselves a new candidate to inherit the number, I don't mind letting you have a try. Huh? Really? But it'll probably be impossible for me. Why do you think so? I don't think I can become as strong as you, Chief. What's that supposed to mean? Exactly what it sounds like. Urgent report! From where? The hospital where Irisu Makina was admitted. Shall I read it? Please. The patient is missing from our hospital room. Irisu Makina seems to have fled. What did you say? What's going on? I don't know any more than you do, although she hadn't regained consciousness. It seems her vitals were stabilizing recently. They speculate she abruptly woke up and immediately made her escape. Oh lord, what a mess. Shall we search for her? It's possible that she headed for number 9029's hideout. Chief? It's fine. Just leave Makina be. But I'm telling you forget it. Yes. She can run all she wants. It's not like there's anywhere left to run to. Even if we do leave those two be, there's nothing more they can do. Those children have no allies. If any hand should reach out to help them now, it can only be that of the devil. A secret organization unbound by law, taking in even irredeemable criminals so long as they have potential, binding them with amnesty, forcing them into advanced training, domesticating watchdogs to serve the national interest. That's right. Only the devil's hand. The hand of our company. CIRS. A dog that's been domesticated stays that way for life. They may run away, but in the end they'll grow hungry and return to their kennel. Our dogs don't know how to live without a master. After all, that's the very reason they earned their nickname. Papa's really late. I'm sure Papa came to see me last night, and he told me to wait here this evening. He said he'd definitely come to pick me up. He told me everything would be over by now, so why isn't he here? Maybe Papa ended up just like my real Papa. Maybe he died to protect me. That ain't it, right? I mean, he promised he wouldn't go off and die for my sake. I totally told him. That's the last thing I need. I'm sick and tired of people dying because of me. I tried so hard and I can do all sorts of stuff now. I thought I could finally get by alone. Stop being a burden. I really did. Why? Why did the people I come to love always die? Papa, you liar. Who are you calling a liar? Papa! Sorry, guess I'm a little late. You wait long? Papa! You're alive! I've been waiting all this time! I was really worried, you know? It's fine. There's no way I'd die, right? Gave me my word on that, and I kept my other promise too. I put an end to everything. Huh? Put an end? What do you mean? To what? Everything. I won't let anyone make you sad again. That's all over now. Really? You really mean it? Yeah. Then we can be together again. Let's go someplace nobody knows about, and live together. Sounds good. Let's do that. Let's go. Papa? Makina. What's wrong? Are you okay? It's fine. Here, Makina, take this, and throw it away somewhere. Someplace. Nobody's ever going to find it. Let me know where you throw it away, so you can just tell me in the afterlife where it is, and then I'll always know where it is. What is this? A gun? Won't be needing that thing where we're going now. Papa? Is this blood? And there's kind of a lot of it on the ground too. Lots and lots. Papa? Did you get hurt? I'm fine. Listen, Makina, I got something else to give you. What do I need to do? What? What should I? Please, Papa! There's a checkbook and a debit card in the breast pocket of my suit. They're both in your name. That account's got the 70 million you gave to me. And all the money I've saved up at work until now. Every last dime. It's yours now. The pin is 9029. Don't forget that. It's 9029. Why are you talking like this? It almost sounds like you're gonna die or something. Also, one more thing. I'm over here. Sorry. I can't see so well anymore. Take this and hold on to it. What's this? A business card from my company. If you run into trouble, some problem you just can't solve yourself, call this number. This isn't happening, right? Hey, Papa. Are you gonna die? And leave me all alone again? Please. Please don't. Please, Papa. What happens then? Okay, I got some movie, but for whatever reason, I don't know why you guys can't seem to see it. Okay, it's some credits, but I don't know why you guys can't see it. And that's that for the bad ending. What comes after? Yeah, it's the credits. And we're just going through all of Makina CGs again. Yeah, all of Makina CGs. Yeah, just to further drive home the point. Again, her quote-unquote papa dies right in front of her. Only been alive 15 years and that's happened twice now in her life. Alright, I now have depression too. Yeah, there's a better ending if we just spare the mother's life, which we're also going to play that out and see how it goes. Yeah, I'm just looking at every Makina CG throughout the course of the Makina Route. And even also like a few that showed up in main route as well. So I assume once the credit roll is done playing, then I'll get to go just look at the good ending, right? Yeah, I wish you could see what's on screen. I don't know why every time a movie comes up in this game, you just can't see it on screen. Yeah, both good and bad moments we're just seeing again, including, I don't know, the look of terror on Makina's face as the bakery burned down. I thought Yuji died at the HQ. Oh, I thought he was gonna die at the HQ as well, but he died right in front of Makina. So I don't know if there really is more to the ending after the credit roll, or if that really is it. Like, Yuji dies and game's over. Probably about as bad as she felt when her first dad died. Well, her biological one. Having her second papa die right in front of her. Also having had her first die in front of her too. Fuck, is this gonna happen again when she's like, I don't know, like 23 or something? What's gonna happen when she's 23? She's gonna find a new papa and he's gonna die too? That's the third papa I've lost so far in this life I've lived. That's the third papa I lost. So was that it for the bad ending? Clearly not. Okay, so the credits played, and then there's actually still more the bad ending after the credits. Half a year later, after Yuji's death. Holding Papa in my arms, terrified and bewildered, I called the number on the business card he just handed me. Holding Papa in my arms half a year later. This is like half a year after the moment he just collapsed in front of her and died, right? Really? Because you'd think that in like half a year he would have just decomposed by now. What, so is she literally holding a skeleton? When I told the person who answered I was Irisu Makina, she said help was on the way. And just as promised, a bright red sports car with a big butt showed up very quickly. Lady with glasses and dark skin. She helped out Papa and me, and soon we were flying to America in a big airplane called Hercules. And just as I'd been hoping for some time, I was able to open a small bakery in the corner of a small town by the sea, using the money Papa returned to me as capital. So she still did get to follow her dreams to some extent anyways. No customers today either, huh? Wonder what the problem is. It's all well and good that I got my store up and running, but I guess there isn't that big a market for bread baked by some random Japanese person. People do show up once in a while, but the instant they come into the store, everybody always grimaces and walks right back out again. Since I got some confidence in the taste of my bread, it's a little frustrating they all have to leave without even trying some. Even so, I gotta keep my chin up. Papa's been sick for a long time now and he's in no shape to work, so I gotta do my best. Papa's the one who saved me, so my life belongs to him, you know? That goes for both of us. Papa's life belongs to me, too. What do you mean, sick? Hey, Papa! Looks like we don't have any customers today, either! Why don't we just have breakfast? I'm just about up and ready to leave my room now. Okay, we're getting into, like, some serial killer shit right here. She's kept that garbage bag for, like, what, half a year? Okay, I thought she was holding on to a skeleton, but what? So that's why nobody's coming into her fucking bakery! So that's why nobody comes on over! That's why she's getting no customers! What, so is she pretending that the garbage bag is speaking to her? No wonder she has no customers. Think you're gonna be able to clean your plate today? No matter what I make, you're always leaving stuff behind, you know? Okay, she's fucking lost it. Don't worry, I'll eat it all today. You better, okay? I just want to forget I ever saw this. Well, it looks like she's pregnant, too. Yep. Pregnant, alright. Okay, so... how is she gonna explain this to the kid? You can get that yourself, kid. I assume she's just pretending that she's actually speaking to him, right? Like, he's been dead for 6 months. Don't you have to water the apple tree? That's right, gotta take care of the seedling. Whoopsie. The tree ain't growing too much, is it? Oh no, maybe it's already withered? That ain't true. He'll definitely become a real big tree someday. With lots and lots of apples. Hope we get some fruit soon. What happens? I'll bake you some apple pie again, okay? I'm looking forward to that. I'm the only one who can hear Papa's words. That's what I thought. She's just pretending that he's actually still talking to her. Why can't anybody else hear him anyway? Oh no, he's fucking dead! That's why no one else can hear him! I mean, you're talking so clearly, right, Papa? You're right, Makina. The sky above is clear. A deep, pure blue. I can hear the seagulls crying. The sound of the waves. Nice weather again, ain't it? What should we do today, Papa? How about we ride bikes, and go look at the puppies in the pet shop? And then, yeah, I know. Once the sun sets, let's go to the beach and do fireworks. Is it really that childish? Yeah, I know. The baby in my tummy's gonna be born soon, but don't worry. I'll be a good mother. It'll be fine. I'm gonna become a really nice mommy. I promise, okay? Oh, it's the phone. Hold on a sec. This is Makina speaking. 9029. You have a job. Gotcha. Where do I go? A vehicle will be coming to pick you up in 30 minutes. Make your preparations and stand by. Affirmative. That's right. Looks like I got a little job to do. Don't worry. I won't overdo it. I mean, I got the baby in my belly and all. Alright, Papa. I'm going to work now, okay? Yeah, at first I just pictured Makina and the skeleton in her arms, which was her dad. I'll have to look this up if she isn't imagining or not. Well, I was close to the skeleton, it's a garbage bag. With his decomposing corpse in it. Yet she's never going to throw it away, that's how much she loves him. There's nothing to worry yourself about. I can do anything now. Anything at all. Even if I'm by myself. So this time, I'll help you out, Papa. Don't worry. I'll protect you no matter what. So just wait nice and quietly, okay? And that's where it just ends? And that's where it ends. She's gonna carry that for the rest of her life? Why would you do that? Oh my god! Everyone's just never gonna come to her bakery. They're just gonna walk away as soon as they see the decomposing garbage bag. Like, oh my god! Like, she's gonna have a kid and raise it, and then the kid's gonna grow up to be, I don't know, just as fucked up in the head as she is? Why would you do that? Now that I see what happens if we kill this bitch. What an awful face. I've seen it somewhere before. I refuse to believe she isn't pregnant. She is pregnant. Don't want to imagine what the kid's gonna grow up to be like. Can we at least shoot her in the leg, though? This woman's not worthy to be called a mother, but they're still parent and child. I hope that kid doesn't try to bring her father to school. Yeah, me neither. And when you kill your parent, even if they're the scum of the earth, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. I refuse to believe she is pregnant. Well, she was. She looked pregnant enough to me. Unless she really put on that much weight by eating her bread that she bakes herself. I can't kill. Just shoot her in the leg at least, fuck's sake. I'm no good after all. What a joke. What a complete goddamn joke. What the hell am I doing? Falling flat on the backside on the spot, I explode into roars of laughter. It's the briefest of chances, but Irisu Kyoka seizes it. As I laugh with the deranged bitterness of a man who's given up on the world itself. The woman's hand leaps for the alarm button under her desk. And at that moment, I really truly don't give a damn. About her. About myself. About anything in the world. I mean, someone should tell Makina that cremation is a thing. You could, I don't know, just cremate Papa's body and then just keep the ashes in an urn, and that won't smell. I don't know, just keep the urn. And people won't just, I don't know, people won't just walk out of your bakery as soon as they see the urn, I don't think, right? There are hurried footsteps in the corridor within seconds. The sound of someone bursting into the secretary's office. Guess that's that. Well, for a piece of shit like me, I guess it was a pretty respectable showing. The thought fills me with something like resignation. My throbbing heart slows. The red-hot flame in the center of my mind grows cold and still. The guards in the office outside are throwing their bodies against the door, aggravated by its refusal to open. For some reason, their obvious irritation strikes me as somewhat amusing. Damn it. 12 gauge. Bring the rifled slugs. Hurry. So they're going to break out the master key, huh? Guess that means they're probably not our people. Well, not that I particularly care at this point. It's a simple trick. Take a shotgun with massive 12 gauge ammunition and blast away the upper and lower hinges on the left, then the area by the lock. Not pretty, but it opens just about any door, hence the nickname. Soon enough, the door smashed violently and inward. A man in black burst into the room shoulder first, leading with one leg like a charging martial artist. His automatic pointed to the ground. Help me! Kill the boy immediately! He's a terrorist! They're gonna turn me into a terrorist, huh? JB must have been the one who prepared that scenario. Wonder if I'll be from the north or the east. Well, probably the north. Freeze. Drop your weapon. Drop my weapon, he says. Unfortunately, I already tossed my gun on the floor before you even came in, Rambo. Why the hell would I bother fighting back this late in the game? Just dispose of me however you like. I'll be waiting, so make sure you come, alright? Shit, that's right. I promised Makina, didn't I? Sorry, kid. I screwed up. Don't think I'll be able to come pick you up. I really am sorry, Makina. Just kill him already! But he's not resisting! What does that matter? That boy assaulted me. Kill him! Take him into custody! The two security police have already placed themselves between me and Irisu Kyoka, completely sheltering her body. Wouldn't think the woman was bawling like a baby a minute ago. The instant she's standing behind someone's back, her voice gets a lot louder. That side of you really does remind me of my old man. A weak laugh, tinged with self-mockery, pushes his way out of my lungs. The largest of the SP officers reaches out to restrain me, probably looking to grab my wrist, yank it behind my back, then press my chest to the floor with his knee. Seems that massive baseball mitt of a hand seizes my right wrist with bone-crushing force. I reflexively try to pull it free. The wiki says she was pregnant during that bad ending, but I still refuse to believe she is. Settle down, punk. Yeah, another 3 months and then the baby would have seen the decomposing... No, not the decomposing corpse, but the garbage bag with said corpse in it. Then probably would have started crying uncontrollably from the bad smell, I imagine. Yeah, imagine someone just writes a fanfic elaborating on the rest of that bad ending. I don't know if I'm gonna want to read that. That attitude pisses me off. He has power, I have none. I'm not even resisting. He still knocks me around. That's perfectly normal to him. Comes as naturally as breathing, and all of a sudden it makes me very, very angry. My right hand twists instinctively in his grip. I lean back, shifting my weight to my waist, pushing myself up off the ground. I jerk his wrist sharply upward as I turn to face him. Ah! Whew! Even though as I exhale the hair in my lungs through pursed lips, my left hand reaches for the man's eyes, but he's ready for it. His baton falls to the ground. His open hand catches my wrist. God damn it. You little. We've each got a hold of a wrist now. It's become a contest of strength. Against a muscle monster like this, a simple grappling match isn't going to end well. With a small twitch in my captured wrist, I abruptly let the muscles of my arm go slack, no longer resisting his attempt to overpower me. The man's torso lurches forward, destabilizing his body's center of gravity. Ugh! I don't give him a chance to regain his balance. Guiding his arm up and over my shoulder, I step forward, trying to use the weight of his unbalanced upper body as leverage for a throw. Ugh. Little bastard. Know how to plant yourself. But guys who have done judo are seriously difficult to uproot. Abruptly changing tactics, I release my grip on his left wrist with a little jerk to the side. Again taken by surprise, he waves his hand in circles like a beginner on a balance beam. Stop resisting! As I move to tackle my opponent, the SP who's been hanging back to guard Arisu Kyoko lunges at me from behind. Quickly twisting around as we tumble across the floor, I lift my legs into the air, then push forward off my back and drive my toes into the onrushing officer's gut. Using the backlash from my kick, I roll forward over the stomach and chest of the man who collapsed with me. The momentum carries me to my feet above the prone policeman. I instantly drop my knee down onto his throat like the blade of a guillotine. Gah! Maintaining the pressure, I frantically search for the gun I abandoned earlier, that's already been kicked into a corner of the room. Much too far for me to reach out and grab. Need a weapon? The man pinned underneath my knee seems to be a good option, but when I flip back his jacket, there's no gun strapped to his armpit. Must be a hip holster. Clicking my tongue in irritation, I reflexively grab the golden ballpoint pen peeking out from the breast pocket of his Oxford shirt. Don't move! The third of Arisu Kyoka's defenders brings his shotgun to bear. You wanna shoot? Go ahead. I grab the man underneath me by the back collar of his suit and tumble away. Pulling his body with me is a human shield. God damn it. I just want to see the part where Yuji gets out of all of this alive and see, I don't know, just a much more sane ending than that bad one. She's going to ride bikes with a dead body in a garbage bag. Oh, she is. I want a more sane ending than that one. That one was like, oh god. That's the sign of someone who's completely lost it. No one from Sakura-dama would ever make that choice. In the first place, not relying on firearms except when strictly necessary is a point of pride in that organization. That said, I got 3 opponents. One of them may be out of the picture, but if I just sit here, the others will subdue me. What do I do? While I'm stalling, the man I'd knocked down with a kick to the solar plexus towers to his feet. There's no more time to hesitate. What do I do? As my eyes dart around the room, I tighten my grip on my human shield's collar, bending his body backward like a bow against my knee. And in that moment, something slips out of his jacket and tumbles noisily onto the floor. We've gone from wanting a happy ending to just wanting something that is sane. Yeah, I'll say. I know that for a fact now. Huh, do you? It even said in the dialogue itself that she had this baby in her quote-unquote tummy. In other words, the contents of that can are tear gas. I quickly pick up the can and fire a blast into the face of the approaching officer. Although it certainly seems effective, it's not the kind of CS my company would be using. The chemical sprayed out as a diffused mist, so it can't be used against distant opponents. Look out, get back! Cover your nose and mouth with a handkerchief! But the gas riding the currents of the room's air conditioning begins to flow toward Irisu Kyoka, our third guard. Struck suddenly by a plan of sorts, I jab the golden ballpoint pen to my hand inside the spray can with all my might. I instantly cover my nose and mouth with the cuff of my work uniform. Tears were already pouring from my eyes in streams. Pulling out the pen from the canister, I hurled a little gas grenade at the man with a shotgun. What the? It's dangerous! Get down! Probably acting on pure instinct as an SP officer. The man throws Irisu Kyoka to the ground, covering her body protectively with his own. Now! I leap to my feet, mouth buried in the crook of my arm, and bolt for the door. On the verge of escaping, I notice a large tabletop lighter in the shape of a goddess on the reception desk and reach out to grab it. Oh, wait! There's the sound of a shotgun being pumped behind me. Now that I left my shield behind, he has no reason to hold back. What? Oh, he has shot again? An impact to my right shoulder like the blows of a giant's hammer. My field of vision is instantly dyed in shades of red. The bone-shattering shock travels through my skeleton, shaking my skull violently. The 12-gauge blast is powerful enough to explode capillaries across the right half of my body. Blood forced out of its vessels is gathering my eyes. Tumbling forward through the door, I instinctively try to push myself up off the thick carpet. But my arm's completely powerless. I collapse awkwardly to the floor. Ah, God. Lifting myself up a little with pure abdominal strength, I reach over my right shoulder, or what's left of it. The muscle and flesh are simply gone. My fingers sink easily into a massive wound. It's fine. I won't die. There's no real reason to believe that. But unless I convince myself it's true, I'm going to fall to the ground and lie there paralyzed. It's fine. This is nothing. Just a scratch. Human beings don't die that easily. There's no problem here. Repeating the words in my mind like a mantra, I gather my willpower into a swirling vortex deep inside my gut. Stand up. I force my knees to push my body erect, but my legs shake like those of a newborn foal. I can't get to my feet. From behind, the sound of a shotgun being pumped. Cold dread shoots through my spine. Looking over my shoulder, I find the man with the gun scrubbing his eyes vigorously with the cuff of his suit as he hacks and wheezes painfully. He's in no shape to line up a shot, but at this range, even a blindly fired warning shot could easily kill me. I bite down on my lower lip fiercely enough to draw blood, willing my convulsing legs to support my weight, begging myself to stand. Gotta hurry. Back up. Might arrive any minute. I have to get out of here now. Leaning heavily against the wall, I rise to my feet. Slowly, painfully, I leave the president's office behind, the cigar-lighting goddess tucked under my arm. Just be patient, Makina. I'll definitely come pick you up. Reaching the passage, I hold the statue up to the fire alarm above and bathe in a small blast of flame. Every emergency door in the building will be automatically unlocked when the fire alarm goes off. With this done, I can slip into and out of any floor. After pushing my way out onto the emergency staircase through the exit with the sensor I disabled earlier, I jam the enormous lighter in between the handrail and the door's lever, rendering it impossible to open from the inside. Gotta get this patched up somewhere. Maybe the gunshot was too large a trauma to process, but doesn't really hurt at the moment. Some part of my brain's probably decided I'd die of shock if I became aware of the pain. I swear to God, the world's too damn round. It's impossible to walk straight. Propelling myself from one near fall to the next on trembling legs, I flee into the night. Good morning, Shiara. Good morning, Chief. Did you get a good night's sleep? Do I look like I've slept? As if I'd have the time after something like that. I pulled an all-nighter arranged in the window dressing for the press. Ooh, incidentally, Chief, is it just me or have you lost a little weight? I took a look at the scale this morning. 3 kilos lighter than last week. I'm so envious. Sure, it's easy for you to laugh. You got relieved at midnight, went home, took a shower, and had a nice bowl of ramen before bed, right? By the way, it's no wonder you're putting on the pounds with a diet like that. Is this the exact same? It's similar. So instead of getting shot in the leg, he got shot in the shoulder. I think it was his right shoulder that got hit. so at least this time he's gonna have an easier time running out of the building, because he doesn't have a bullet in his leg. Don't tell me you've installed cameras and mics in my room or something. Why exactly would I be cutting into my precious 1% of the budget to spy on the likes of you? Guess you have a point there. More importantly, do we have a fix on 9029's movements after fleeing the scene? We still got nothing. The last information we received was that unconfirmed sighting of someone who resembled him near Ueno Station at 1 AM. I see. I guess he might just be lying dead in a ditch somewhere. Wasn't trained to roll over and die as easily as that. He supposedly received a fatal gunshot wound, and the observers we dispatched to the site confirmed stains suggesting potentially lethal blood loss. But his corpse wasn't found, which means we assume he's alive. I hope you're right. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't trying to imply anything, Chief. I didn't mean that I'm rooting for 9029 or anything, and I know you wouldn't shelter him. Yes, I understand that. But really, I wonder where he went. It's not like there's anywhere for him to return to. What about Irisu Makina's hospital? Have we posted anyone there? She's still sleeping in her bed as always. Wonder what happens to her now. Apparently, Irisu Kyoko will be flying overseas at 4 this afternoon, taking her daughter Serena with her. They're leaving Makina behind? So long as 9029's death isn't confirmed, I doubt she's eager to take the risk of touching the girl. Our number 9029 is rather stubborn after all. Even if she runs over the seas, he'd probably track her to the ends of the earth. Wasn't there someone saying about 9029's tenacity? What was it again? Being targeted by 9029 is like struggling to push out a turd that just doesn't know when to quit, I believe. Those eloquent words were spoken by the leader of a Cuban narcotics cartel 12 years ago, describing the previous 9029. No matter how many times it changes hands, the name 9029 inspires fear. It's our ace number, so to speak. Wonder if I'll end up as the case officer to a 9029 myself someday. Why not? Should the current 9029's death be confirmed, if we find ourselves a new candidate to inherit the number, I don't mind letting you have a try. Really? But I don't really know if I can handle it. Every I-9029 we've had gave their CO nothing but grief. Insubordination, rule-breaking, ignoring orders. That's a job that comes with a lot of tears. Come on. It does wonders for the waistline, you know? I don't know. Looking at you, Chief, all I can think is, I don't want to grow old while I'm still young. What exactly does that mean? Come on, I'm just teasing. Whoopsie! An urgent report at a convenient moment. It's just the regular 7:30 report from Irisu Makina's hospital. Shall I read it out? It seems Irisu Makina has regained consciousness. It seems she's rather disoriented, but her vitals are extremely stable. That is a bit of good news, isn't it? Yes, that it is. We'll have to stop by for a little sympathy visit later and inform her of the situation. Don't forget the Bomb-kuchen. Indeed, can't forget the Bomb-kuchen. Not that I took Chiara's frivolous pictures seriously or anything, but I do stop at a Western-style cake shop near Irisu Makina's hospital to buy a Bomb-kuchen prior to my visit that afternoon. When I return to my car, the 1-seg broadcast on my navigation system is still buzzing with reports concerning the attempted assassination. The attempted assassination at Irisu Global HQ last night. I'm just wondering where that bad ending would have gone from there. Would she have forever been derangedly in love with that decomposing body in that garbage bag, or would one of the customers eventually have maybe tried to talk some sense into her, and at least convince her to just burn the body and just keep the ashes in an urn? That way it wouldn't stink up the bakery, and she'd still be able to keep Papa with her for as long as she lived. The crime was the work of a terrorist group of unknown nationality. The ringleader and would-be assassin was quickly overpowered by special police guarding the building, but attempted suicide. And although he was immediately rushed to the hospital, his death was confirmed in the ambulance prior to arrival. It's a shoddy, hackneyed bit of embroidery, but for some reason, that's just the sort of window dressing the organism knows the public is most eager to swallow. Most likely because the story full of holes offers more opportunity to carve out the government's response. It's more entertaining that way. One morning talk show was quickly arranged for a special panel discussion featuring an economic analyst who's become a popular early morning talking head recently, along with a military commentator who's made a name for himself through comically strident anti-American ravings. frequent opponents currently engaging in a vigorous, spit-spewing exchange of ideas. First of all, please take a look at this slide. This graph demonstrates the trends in totally Risu Group revenue over the last 10 years, demonstrating. When you hear the word terrorist, I'm sure everyone immediately thinks of the North or the Middle East. But please don't forget about our good friends in Country C, either. I trust you can guess the one I'm referring to. Yes, the second most prideful nation in the world. Mass media targeted embroidery, Type A Plan B. The scenario prepared is permeating into the public discourse as much as anticipated. In 20 days, a pre-planned shakeup at the Ministry of Justice will become the new hot topic of the moment, and for the majority of the citizenry at this incident will be bundled off into a dusty corner of their memory. This chain of incidents has resolved a tentative conclusion, but there's still the mystery of I-9029's current whereabouts. One other problem. Simultaneously, the most trivial and most crucial element of this case also remains unresolved. A mother who fled overseas, leaving her daughter in a hospital as though abandoning a broken toy she'd grown bored of. The question of how Irisu Makina will be dealt with interests me greatly. The girl hasn't simply been left behind by an indifferent mother. That's only a superficial part of the truth. It would be more accurate to say that we've used the confusion to take control of her as a potential material witness. It proves a wise bet. In compensation for a full accounting of the events that took place last night, Irisu Makina offers me extensive details concerning the Irisu clan's past history of corruption and criminal misconduct. The information in her verbal statement is astonishingly precise, proof that her memories of the family's secret record books remain vivid and clear down to the minutest details. And so, in the form of a young woman, our organization obtains the Irisu clan's Book of the Dead, a prize worthy of all we spent in its pursuit. The knowledge I gained this afternoon alone will be more than sufficient, a bargaining chip to seal the Irisu's lips concerning 9029's misconduct. With the addition of one more document to the most classified files of the secret organization known as CRS, we immediately extend a guarantee of personal security to our newest resource. The only remaining question will be your future course in life. We'll offer existence to whatever degree possible, but do you have any particular aspirations? Hello, dear. Are you listening to me? Her eyes open wide, and I know she's fully alert. But for the last little while, the girl's simply been staring at the apple seedling sitting by the window with a dopey look in her eyes. Perhaps it would have been best to conceal the fact that Kazami Yuji disappeared after suffering grave injuries? In combination with his failed assassination of Makina's own mother, the shock might prove even powerful enough to trigger a relapse of her prior aphasia. What are you planning to do now? Gonna go home. Go home? To where? The girl no longer has any such thing. Her mother and sister have gone overseas in search of an organ donor. Her own family wanted her dead. Under such circumstances, who can she possibly return to? There's only one possible answer to my question. Going to where Papa is. Which do you mean? Her father in heaven? Or that domesticated dog of ours who seems to have fallen off the face of the earth? I suppose it really has to be the latter. We don't have any information on Kazami Yuji's movements as of yet. We promised. Papa promised me. He'd definitely come pick me up. A promise, eh? A promise. So don't worry about me, okay? Just leave me alone. And I'll live with Papa from now on. Forever and ever. Just the two of us. We'll be just fine. I see. A lonely girl in a hospital bed, dreaming of an ephemeral future. Someday that prince will come and carry her away. She truly believes that. And in time, the day will come when she can look back on that dream with nostalgia. With this little soliloquy running through my head, I leave Irisu Makina's hospital room behind. The evening of that same day, I learned she slipped out of her bed and disappeared quietly from the hospital. Papa's really late. I have the strangest feeling I've just emerged from a long nightmare. I can almost believe that everything was a dream. Being in Mihama Academy, meeting a person named Kazami Yuji, having him become my papa. But the apple seedling's in my hands. I can feel it against my palms. In that case, Papa wasn't a dream either. I want to believe that. He promised, right? He totally promised. He'll be here. Papa's definitely gonna show up. I mean, she's never broken a promise to me. Not even once. And so I wait in front of the station, an apple tree in my arms. Sorry, a little past the time we decided on. A bunch of people are giving me funny looks as they walk by. But I don't care one bit. Other people don't scare me anymore. I mean, Papa will be here any minute to pick me up, so what's there to be afraid of? Makina. Papa! Sorry, I guess I'm a little late. You wait long? I was waiting, you know. Waiting and waiting. This whole time. My bad. Also, I'm sorry. I told you I'd put an end to everything, but I couldn't pull it off. Don't worry. It's okay. It's all over now. All of it. We can run away again, together. As long as you're with me, Papa. That's enough. So let's run away. Just the two of us. Go someplace nobody knows about and live together. Sounds good. Let's do that. Okay. Let's go. Hand in hand, leaning close in our seats, we sway with the movements of an outbound train. Where are we going? Good question. Any place you want to go, Makina? The sea? The sea, huh? I think a beach would be nice. So we go to the beach. And then what? I want to shoot off some fireworks. What else? I want to play with a puppy! What does that have to do with the beach? You got a point there. Because it's something she always wanted to do as a kid. We got the money. I haven't touched that 70 million yen you gave me. We can do anything at all. Oh, so they didn't even dig that deeply into their funds while they were living as fugitives, I see? Let's buy ourselves a beach house on the Florida shore. Florida, huh? That a nice place? It's hella warm. Ideal for taking it easy. Famous for its seafood and sex. Sounds appealing. I'm a big fan of both. Let's buy ourselves a house by the sea. I'll start up a bakery on the bottom floor, selling my handmade bread. Hell, we'll get you a puppy and a bicycle, too. And at night, we can go out and play with fireworks. And, well, let's see. What else? We still got plenty of money. Makina, what do you want to do? You know, Papa. Right now, just having you with me is enough. I don't need anything else. I see. Papa? What is it? You're bleeding! Look, on the seat too! And the floor! There's a whole lot! Truth is, I screwed up a bit. But it's fine. Doesn't hurt that much. When wounds don't hurt, that means they're fatal, you know? Might be. It's getting hard to keep my eyes open. Feels like I'm going to fall asleep unless I keep talking. If you fall asleep, you'll die. Papa? Hey. Are you gonna die? And leave me all alone again? Please. Please don't. Please, Papa. But I thought this was the good ending. Doesn't he at least survive in this one? Okay, it's the same credit sequence again, but for whatever reason, I don't know why you guys can't actually see it. You can hear it, but you can't see it. And I'm gonna get to look at all the same Makina CGs all over again. Unless there's a way to skip it, yes there is. Okay, I just skipped it. I skipped the same credit sequence I already saw in the bad ending route. 1 year later, just as Pop and I had agreed, using the 70 million yen he returned to me as capital, I opened a small bakery in the corner of a small town by the sea. Thank you kindly. Don't be a stranger now. There weren't many customers at first, I mean. The store kind of popped up out of nowhere, and the baker being some random Japanese person probably didn't help. But even so, lately business has been picking up little by little. And I've even got a few regulars who've developed a taste for my artisanal melon buns. I couldn't have gotten this far on my own. Heck, I wouldn't have thought of trying to open a store in the first place. I got where I am today because of a whole lot of people who were there for me. More than I ever would have expected. I'm only here because of their help. Okay, now let me tell you, I'm guessing Volcanics, this image is gonna be cursed. This image is just gonna be stuck in the back of your mind forever, right? There's one person I'm particularly grateful to. Morning, Makina. Papa! Good morning! Sleep well last night? I've been sleeping a lot better lately. Anywho, take a load off. I'll make some coffee, okay? Yeah, I appreciate it. You're looking so much better lately. I thought you were gonna die that day, you know? To hear JB taught, I'm not a sweet enough mutt to roll over and die that easily. There's the man, the legend, and not in the trash bag. You did lose your right arm and all. Lose? It didn't look like you lost it to me. Then again, I guess it's just the sleeve that's hiding the fact. Okay, so I see a left hand but no right hand, so she's right. Okay, she doesn't look like she's pregnant in this ending, though. So Yuji has, like, apparently no right arm. What are you gonna do? The bones and muscle in my shoulder were totally pulverized, so the arm was basically dangling off a bit of skin. So it was just in the bad ending, I see. I knew it was gone the instant I got a decent look. Do you think he's ever gonna get at least a prosthetic arm? When I was changing clothes in the station bathroom after being shot, I even considered just ripping the thing off and leaving it behind. Decided against it, though. No reason to give some poor janitor a heart attack. Did you really have to wrap the thing up with packing tape from some convenience store? You had no idea how many times I upchucked while giving you first aid. Sure enough. Sorry about that. I'm the one who should be apologizing. I mean, you did that all for me. I really am sorry. Feels like a bit of a lucky break, if anything. Small price to pay for a divorce from the devil. He did talk about that devil in his right hand a lot, and now that hand isn't even existent anymore. He picked a good time to come over. There ain't any customers, so why don't we have breakfast? I'm actually starving. You've been cleaning your plate a lot more often lately. Makes me a little happy to see that, you know? She's having, like, what, the exact same dialogue she was having with the trash bag in the bad ending? The phone. Hold on a sec. This is Makina speaking. 9029, you have a job. So she becomes the next Agent 9029 no matter what ending you pick. Okay, Yuji lost his arm, so I guess he's no longer qualified for the job. I don't even know if he'd be qualified again if he gave him a prosthetic arm. Well, in the bad ending, there's no way in hell he could ask him to do that job. He was literally a corpse in a trash bag that was starting to smell really, really bad. What the heck? It's just stupid old Chiara. Why are you calling up for me first thing in the morning, girl? It's an emergency. A vehicle will be coming to pick you up in 30 minutes. Make your preparations. Screw that! You do it! I'll loan you my rifle, okay? I ain't even had breakfast yet. I hadn't eaten anything myself for your information. Just get ready, alright? I swear to God. Is there some law that number 9029 can only be passed on to a completely big pig-headed rat or what? Don't get all grumpy. You'll stop menstruating. You two do remember who's making that happy-go-lucky beach baker lifestyle of yours possible, yes? Alright, fine, I know. Message received. You want me to work? I work. I'll take the job seriously. Swear not to the stars and stripes, please. I swear on the flag. You have 27 minutes. Get to the standby position with C-type equipment. Roger. You going? Not the best from Yuji's point of view because... No, even in the best case scenario, he's just lost an arm. Not the best case scenario in his perspective. But it's better than him being dead in a trash bag. Plus, that also would mean the bakery is probably going to be doing better in this ending as well. So our job's going better than it was in the bad ending, too. I'm pretty used to the artificial arm by now. Oh, so he does have, like, an artificial arm. So he does have a prosthetic. So it's not really not that bad, I don't think. Still sucks that he lost his arm. Don't screw up, kid. Indeed, won't be a problem. Leave it all to me. That's right, can I borrow your Leopold, Papa? What, again? You're always breaking them. Artificial arm. I can't see his hand, though. Was this like a flashback from before he actually got that arm? I don't know why I can't see the arm, though. Or, like, I can see what vaguely looks like the arm just leaning against the table, but I don't see the hand, so I'm confused. Why are we missing a hand? Spanks ya! I'll be back in a jiffy! After strapping the case of my beloved L96A1-AWS in my folding aluminum cart, I carefully tied down a smaller box containing the scope I successfully bummed off Papa. Then set off for the neighborhood parking lot where my ride will arrive, pulling the rattling cart along the ground behind me. The sun in Florida is ridiculously strong. When I turn my sunglass-clad eyes up to the sky, the fatal ball of fire blazes down on my face, scorching my cheeks. Looks like another nice day's brewing. On days like this, the air's crisp and dry and with low humidity, so that the bullets fly nice and steady. I'm thinking dead center on the first shot, for sure. Coming to a new town, starting a new job in my bakery. I also pick up a new part-time position. Specifically, I'm starting to take over Papa's work, now that he's retired from his injuries and all. It's a lot of new stuff to deal with at once, and I'm still in the awkward getting used to it phase, but on the whole, I'm finding this new life of mine pretty fulfilling. Pretty dang fulfilling indeed. Can't say as my life really got off to that great a start, but right now every day seems fun. Maybe it's because I can do all sorts of stuff now that I couldn't before. Best part is, I'm pretty sure tomorrow's gonna be fun too, and the day after that, and a whole lot of days after that. If that ain't happiness, what is? Protecting this tranquil little lifestyle is my #1 objective now. 9029. I've arrived. Acknowledged. But now I'm used to having her cut the line on me after a single word. There's a whole lot of things I've got to do in order to keep this happy life of mine rolling along. That's no biggie. My head isn't hurting today. Not yet. Alright then, let's do this thing. Firing myself up a little, I look up into the sky once again. A flock of seagulls soar by overhead. I take off my sunglasses, retrieve the small bottle from my pocket and apply my eye drops. Closing my eyes, I listen to the waves breaking softly on the shore. So she takes her shot at, I don't know, assuming the person she's instructed to shoot at, and then it just ends. But me thinks she's taken up a particularly dangerous set of jobs, right? Yeah, doesn't the work she's doing as the new number 9029 often come with the risk of just getting killed? GG, I just literally clicked on the screen and read a bunch of text boxes. What are you saying GG for? I literally just clicked on a screen and read some words. Yeah, so there we go. And that's Makina for you. Makina and what would be a candidate for the worst mother ever. Yeah, being a worse mother than Makina's mom, that being Kyoka, even though what you did required no skill. Certainly an emotional experience, though. No skill, just an emotional ride, though. Even though, yeah. Somehow managing to be worse than Kyoka is gonna be pretty fucking hard, let me tell you. Yeah, being an even shittier parent than that. Probably don't even want to know what will make that possible. Then again, I've actually, recently heard of a story where I think we have a shittier parent than Kyoka, potentially. Yeah, there's the whole Sophie Long case. There's this 9-year-old girl that's just being, or was being recently raped by her boyfriend. And the mother just idly sat by and watched it happen. And the grandmother was also apparently not trying to intervene in this in any capacity either. And it seemed like the only person that was actually standing up for the girl was her father. So the father and, well, the father's girlfriend, which is like Sophie's stepmom, started the GoFundMe, raising well over $150,000 and smashing the $25,000 goal they initially set up. There were also attempts to freeze the GoFundMe so the father and, the stepmom couldn't use it. Aren't there more games after this one? More Fruit of Grisaia, yes. Eventually, they managed to get the funds unfrozen, so they were able to use those freely. They have a legal team, and they're slowly making progress in getting full custody of Sophie and the siblings. Still extra sad that they haven't even managed to pull that off yet. So what we know so far is daughter being raped by her boyfriend, Child Protective Services doing nothing to help, police doing nothing to help, judge trying to force the father to give the daughter and her siblings back to the abusive mother and her boyfriend, confirmed drugging of the children. And I feel like this whole custody battle still isn't over yet, but we're hearing bits of good news. So yeah. That is actually a real story. I'm not making this up. This isn't out of some visual novel. This is actually fucking for real in Texas right now. Yeah, I think in like a week or so, there's actually going to be a protest in Sophie's name. Like, people in Texas are going to go out probably and start protesting. Honestly, wish they would have done it sooner because... I mean, if law enforcement isn't going to do its job, then who is? Yeah, I just thought of that when I said, like, I think I can maybe name a parent that could be shittier than Makina's mother. As absolutely terrifying as that sounds. A mother whose boyfriend, like, rapes her own daughter while she just idly sits by and watches. And then also actively tries to just make the father lose full custody. Yeah. That is actually real. What's in the extras? What do you mean? CG gallery, scene replay, music gallery, movie galleries. What is secret? So yeah, I retweeted about that story on my Twitter. In other words, I stand with Sophie. Obviously encourage everyone else to do the same. Like, there was one clip where the girl was crying, people were just yanking her out of her father's car. And I think in that same clip, they yanked her out of the car so hard, like she actually sustained an injury to her arm, she got hospitalized for it. As in, this would imply she was hanging on for dear life to not get dragged back to her mother's place, where she was inevitably going to get raped again. And I think, apparently you mean to tell me there's still, like, an ongoing custody dispute. Despite the fact that it should be clearly evident that the mother deserves no custody whatsoever. Yeah, and confirmed drugging of the children. One of them tested positive for marijuana and cocaine. System voice download. What if I click this? Okay, so are these only the CGs I managed to unlock? I unlocked this one. I unlocked this one. Unlock this one. Page 1 of 1. Do I only have to unlock 9 more? Icon. Who the hell is this? Fuck this bitch to hell and back. I wish I could have at least had my guy shoot her in the leg. Just to send a pretty clear message that if you fuck with Makina, then I won't be so fortunate to spare your life next time. Tuna fish, man. Oh, what is this? General spare ribs? What's this supposed to say? There's some Yuji icons. So what, does it just simply download these to my computer if I click them? I'm gonna assume that it does? Yeah, I would just simply put this in my folder if I just click to download it. So I guess I can just keep these CGs as literal trophies? I'm trying to remember if I simply wasn't able to click extra before just finishing one of the routes. CG gallery. This is all of them. Every CG in the Makina Route. All of them minus the CGs from the H scenes, because those were removed from the scene version I'm playing. I'm trying to remember what these guys had to do with the Makina Route. Oh, this is where he was about to shoot Kyoka, but the best thing to do was actually to not shoot her at all. Most of these are still locked. This is just stuff from the common route, I take it, right? This is common route stuff too, right? Oh, I love this one. Not so much the CG, but what was actually happening when this was on screen. Oh, and then we had this lovely council meeting. This showed up, like, right smack dab at the beginning of Makina's Route. I was about to say Michiru. With everyone being in the council except for Makina, because this was a secret council regarding Yuji and Makina's recent relationship. They just literally just started. And there was Michiru screaming for some reason, I don't exactly remember. Yep, they even got the principal to wear a hood. Like the KKK. Like, even the principal wore one of those hoods, like... like, that shit was just crazy. I love it. And then I still have some more of the Michiru CGs to unlock. This is probably more stuff from the common route. And this is just miscellaneous stuff of either other characters or just all of them. Scene replay. Common route. I don't have these unlocked yet. I don't have this unlocked. Don't have this yet. So is this how much of the game I've managed to get through so far? Am I 41% done? Because that's what it's telling me. I didn't think there'd just be so much stuff hiding in the extras at all. So yeah, I was looking at what's in the extras. There's a music gallery. Oh, nice. There's a music gallery, so I can just listen to any of these songs whenever I want. Nice. A movie gallery. Makina's Route ending. Opening video. So I don't know why you guys can never see any of the movies. So I can imagine there's definitely going to be 4 more movies for each of the other girls' routes, but I see like 5 locked movies, so I do wonder just why 5 of them are locked still. Okay, so that's Makina's Route for you. So yeah, thanks for watching. And I still will have to eventually decide on the next girl whose route I'm going to go down. There's a good chance it's going to be Michiru's, but you're going to have to maybe give me a bit of time to deliberate on that.